Greatest, and I'm the host of today's podcast where we talk all things art, culture, and entertainment, more specifically pop culture entertainment. The primary focus of today's episode will actually be focused on the recent movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I will have my co-host Aaron with me very, very soon. I'm actually doing this after we've recorded the episode. It is a long one, in response to your patience. In wanting to know where we've been and what we've been up to. Those questions don't explicitly get answered, but the short version is life happens. Sometimes life gets the better of us, and engaging in something that we do a little bit more so for on our downtime as kind of an extension of just our interests and things like that. It can be a little bit hard to just navigate schedule, so I'm glad that he was able to join me for this episode. He hasn't really made his formal return to social media, so when that happens, I will be sure to let everybody know. But in the meantime, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. And, don't forget to let me know your thoughts down, be it in the comments below or sharing the show, telling your friends, and just, I hope you all around have a good time because we had a lovely experience recording it for you. It's good to be back, and hopefully we can make it episode 100 this year. Who knows? Who knows where we'll go? But sit back and enjoy. Yeah, we were talking about strange shit. Fuck, what were you saying?
Oh, you're telling about how you said something about how one of the podcasts you listened to, they were just being real extra with their criticism.
I mean, it was just one dude on it was just like it's still it was still an entertaining episode, but the chat was lighting his ass up. His opinions on it, but yeah, like we were talking about earlier, it's just it's mad divisive. It seems like, which is surprising because I came out, I saw it twice, an hour apart. That's a whole fucking separate story for after this that I'll tell you later on of how I managed to accidentally fucking see the movie twice, at the same theater.
Damn,
Saw it twice. The same.
Did you buy a second ticket or you movie hopped?
Bought my second ticket. There's a story behind it, and it makes me feel really stupid in retrospect because all I had to do was wait a couple hours.
Damn.
There's context to it, but yes, I did see this shit twice, back to back, like an hour and a half apart. Yeah, I saw it once at 1 p.m. and then again. No, I saw it once at I know it was 1 p.m. Once at 1 p.m. and then again at 5 p.m. The movie's 2 hours. So really the gap was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was not that much. But I don't know, I still came out really, really enjoying it. Does it have issues? I mean, just about every movie does. So I didn't have anything in the movie that really bothered me. Everything in it, I think probably because it's one of the movies that when we talk about auteurs, people forget to kind of throw Sam Raimi's name into the running because there's a lot of Sam isms in this movie.
For sure.
I don't know if people caught. Let's see. Trying to think of some examples because there's so fucking many. One of them, he will just have
some of the edits. But
the editing, the doors shutting by themselves, that's a horror staple for him. He has a thing for eyeballs. That's a thing for Sam. He will show random shots of extras reacting to something. So when Gargantos was climbing up the building, and you know how there was that shot that just held on a woman for a second, just watching him climb up the building. That's some shit that Sam does. It happened in specifically, I think, in Spider-Man 2. Just hold on people's reactions, eyeballs, doors closing, build up to or attention for horror. Of course, he's has all his horror isms are all littered throughout this. The score
are we starting?
Yeah, just going in.
All right.
But
I did have his isms.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna
You
just
said you're
add
gonna add.
I'm gonna add the intro in post. I just want to talk right now because it's
Yeah,
been a
okay,
minute.
let's go.
Just getting to it. I'll do the intro stuff separately because I'm doing it in an orthodox method since we're talking about unorthodox ass movies. Uh, and because I think today, if we have the time, like I'll do Doctor Strange. We can talk about everything everywhere a little bit, and maybe Moon Knight if we
You
have
got
time.
me.
Um,
I haven't heard your opinion at all about it.
oh yeah. That would be an interesting one. But yeah, for Strange, like I loved it, both times. I actually caught a little bit more, just a smidge the second round, like when they were in the what's it called? When he first went over to meet Wanda, I missed the part where he said America's name, and then no, when
He
where
didn't say America.
he didn't say her name and Wanda said it, and he catches her in the bullshit, and I'm like, wait, that's
Mhm.
actually a really cool moment. because it's just like, well, why don't you bring America here? And he just does that fake shit. You know how you respond where somebody is saying bullshit and you catch them saying it, but you have to go with the lie for a second because they don't know that you
Mhm.
know. And he does the fake surprise, like, well, maybe I could bring her here. And then she pauses and realizes she got fucked up, and she's like, didn't say the name. He's like, I
You
didn't
didn't
say
tell
the
her
name.
that.
And that's actually a
Yeah.
funny moment, but it's also dark. It's like, oh, she realized, and then she like takes away the hex. It's like it's like funny, but also in a dark way because it's like, oh, she really about to kidnap this bitch. Also, fucking simps for Scarlet Witch are coming out in full force for this movie. They're doing any and everything in their power to defend this white woman. It's like,
The
bro,
Scarlet Simps.
Scarlet Simps, because like, bro, she's a villain. She's been a villain. Her arc is villain to hero to villain since Age of Ultron. She was introduced as a villain. She's potentially hypothetically leaving us, but we didn't see a body. So,
Has she
potentially
been a hero though?
she was an
She was a
Avenger.
hero for like.
She,
Okay, let's go through this girl's history. First,
yeah,
she
you're
was
right.
fucking
Let's go through
fighting
it.
with
So,
Ultron.
Age of
First, she was
Ultron,
fighting with Ultron, and then she realized, oh no, Ultron's going to
brother
destroy humanity.
died.
So
Oh no.
she fought with the Avengers, and she murdered Ultron, or his primary body.
Yeah.
And then the next movie, she tries to be a hero, kills a whole building full of people, and then she's benched for most of it.
She did kill a lot of people, but she was on Steve's side.
She was on Steve's side,
No, wait, no,
but
she
then
was
she
the enemy
threw
of the
Natasha
state.
like a rag doll.
She
She was
the
an enemy of the state,
so
bad guy by the state,
so
and
she was
then
a vigilante.
she threw Ragdoll like she threw Natasha like a ragdoll and told Clint he's pulling his punches. God damn, girl. And then what? The next time we see her,
She dropped cars on him. No, that was
she dropped cars on Tony Stark.
was that
I'm like,
Hawkeye?
damn, girl.
She did drop cars on him.
No, Hawkeye. No, Hawkeye did the arrow thing as a distraction. She dropped the cars on Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then the next time we see her,
Vision
she's
through
on the run.
She was on the run, so she was a vigilante and enemy of the state because she was hiding with Vision at the beginning of Infinity War. That Infinity War was the one time she was really that and Endgame were the two times she was a hero.
She wasn't a hero. She was just fighting with her friends. She didn't save nobody. This woman ain't saved a goddamn person her entire
she was
career.
saving her. She was saving her human vibrator, bro. She was. You're right. No, but you're right. She was really just mad about Vision. She said, "You took my fuck doll away from me," and Thanos said, "Bitch, what?"
All this girl was doing was defending her man. She didn't. She wasn't.
You
save
right.
nobody.
So, and then Vision died. Yeah, she had to kill her man to try and save the world, and then it backfired. So she died twice, and then WandaVision happened. She held
She enslaved a town.
She enslaved a town in New Jersey. She fought a somehow almost worse witch, then became a worser witch, and then you're right. Her whole arc has been villain to anti-hero to villain again.
Right. This woman's never been a hero.
She's never been a hero. You're right. She just went from Wanda to the Scarlet Witch, where she's had
Right.
moments of personal redemption. She's never been she's done heroic things. She's never been a
Yeah.
hero. Damn. She's not. Damn. That's
All right.
hilarious.
Now that you got your praising out of the way, let me give my take real quick. So
Well, I don't even know if
when
I
I
got. I mean,
was,
yeah, I just liked it overall. But go ahead, speak a piece.
I have mixed feelings about this movie. I appreciate the artistic vision behind it. I appreciate that it was colorful and that it had a really quick pace, but some of the logic of the movie doesn't track for me and some of the editing doesn't work for me. I think that
Okay.
it's it starts with the speed of something that is like a crossover event. Like if you're like when you watch I don't know, man. Like it felt like the beginning of Infinity War, where like shit's already happened off screen, but we just got to keep up with it because that's what the movie tells us we got to do. But except
It
it's
opens
not a
in media
crossover
res.
movie; it's a solo movie. It opens immediately. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
like an all hope is lost moment, but it's just like, all right, like this shit started 5 minutes ago. You better catch up.
It's
And then it
I like
sets us
those
to the universe.
openings, but I can understand it's not for everybody. I enjoy in media res openings where it's like you're in the middle of something crazy happening, but I can see how that's like you kind of want a
I don't think it was necessarily the thing itself. I think it was the fact that what we end up finding out is uh what that opening scene was about. It's kind of put in an offhand line, and I'm like, there's so much story. Like I feel like there's a movie in between what happened between WandaVision and this movie that we just didn't see.
there's an episode. There's at least like 30 to 40 minutes of content between uh America dimension hopping. No, I understand what you're saying. I guess we're just kind of two minds about uh like yeah, it's all functioning off of the implication that your mind can fill in the blank as to by the end of the movie where you're like you're putting the pieces together, but I understand what you're saying is like there is a missing piece there. For
Yeah,
me,
and
it didn't bother me, but I can understand how one can take issue with it because there
but
is a
okay, but
gap of
okay,
huh?
yeah, there's a
The
gap,
gap.
but that's not the main thing that bothers me. I think what bothered me more so than that was that I saw this movie. Um, let's just say in altered circumstances. So this movie
Corey
starts.
told you not to do that shit. Well, Toaster
So the
said, "Don't
first time
see this
watching this
movie
movie,
high."
this hey, I didn't say that. All I know is I was seeing a Doctor Strange movie, and I was ready to enjoy my time with Doctor Strange. I'll just say that. So anyway, uh, it wasn't until I sat down and it goes past the opening of the movie, and then it wakes up with Steven in his bed, and then he's getting ready and going to the wedding, and he sits down. It wasn't until then I was like, oh shit, this is a Doctor Strange movie. We're just dropped back into his life. I haven't seen this shit in years. What is this man's life? And I was so excited to get into like what Steven's life is and like what are the circumstances now that he's actually become Doctor Strange, because we've been so inundated with the events of the universe instead of the events of what this man's life is, that I was looking forward to spending that kind of time with him again. But then the movie is so about its pace and about its story, we don't really get that chance. We're just thrown into the circumstances of the film. And granted, maybe that's more of a personal thing than an issue of the film itself, but I'm much more of a character moving the story
Right.
forward over a plot moving the story forward kind of person.
Yeah,
And the
we
beginning
talked
seemed
about
to
this actually
tease,
with that was your issue with Tenet.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And I
Yeah.
think the beginning really got me hooked because it's talking with the doctor from the first Doctor Strange movie and like the effects of what what happened post snap, and like how is the world reacting to Doctor Strange and people that he used to know, and how does he feel about himself, how does he feel about his circumstances. And we're thrown into the conflict with America, and that she's being chased and he has to help her. It all happens really fast, and I'm like, okay, like I understand what's happening, I'm along for this ride. But it it immediately, by throwing him immediately into these events, it took the focus away from him as a character. And then the next scene, we see Wanda, and I was like, okay, what's their dynamic going to be like after she just went through this thing in Westview, and he's a sorcerer. They're kind of a similar sort of background, and then immediately flip, oh, she's the bad guy. We all got to run from her. I was like, damn, like we just spent all this time with, I don't know, man. I was just, I guess, from having 9 episodes with Wanda and seeing the complexity of her character to seeing where she ends at the post-credit scene to where she's at the beginning of this movie. I understand that the writers wanted to make her the villain, and I understand that the Darkhold is the thing that pushed her to that point.
Right.
I would just have liked to seen something a little bit more complex character-wise between the two of them, and it was very much black and white. Like, if you don't, like, I know we're like have that friendly thing, but if you don't help me, I'm gonna kill you. Like, from the bat. And I was like, dang, can we get like, I don't know. I think the dynamic between Tony and Steve in Infinity War or in Civil War between people who are associated with the Avengers was much more of an interesting internal conflict than we got to run from this powerful witch.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
The Civil War fight definitely, because it was, but felt a lot more
they didn't build
personal.
They never built up this emotional thing between the hero and the villain. And like Doctor Strange is kind of a dick, and he's like, your children are never real, like crazy, you're doing the wrong thing. But they never built. There was never this. There was a similarity between the two characters, but there was never the forefront of the story. The fact that she has this desire for her children and for a life she misses, and his desire to be happy with the woman that he wants. And that was never something that was the focus of the story that could connect them in a way. It was because there's so much stuff with the multiverse and the journey itself, there wasn't enough room for the characters.
And you know what? And I think Wanda has I think both Wanda and Steven have their own things kind of going on as far as like narratively and as far as like arcs go. Because like
there's an easy thin parallel between the characters that the story doesn't take time to actually address.
Right.
And it's there. It's an easy layup.
Oh no, I give you that. Because it just occurred to me, they don't have a relationship other than being wizards.
They don't. They have no personal connection with one another. They're acquaintances at best.
They didn't even meet in Infinity War. I don't think they met until Endgame.
Exactly.
Like that's
my point.
They were both in Infinity War, but Strange was in space and Wanda was on Earth. They've never really, as far as we know, like they know of each other by proxy of the Avengers, but we've never seen them have a conversation until this movie. So I get what you mean, because, and you're right, because one of the themes of this movie is the whole, and I think it's a slight misunderstanding about Strange's arc. Strange's arc isn't so much about the happiness, it's about his hubris, which ties into his happiness. And that's both of them.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
The big thing with it, and to your point, the big thing with their arcs, it has to do with their fucking egos. It is a white woman who says, fuck your happiness, my happiness, because my happiness is above everybody else's, and I will do anything it takes to make my feelings feel better. But what about the alternate dimensions where you're happy? Fuck them. I only care about my happiness. And Strange is like, I am the one who is always right. So it's either my way or the highway. And
this movie, you saying that just made me think of a thought in the movie, because I've also seen it twice.
Yeah,
so there was a moment.
It's like, fuck anyone else's opinion who isn't mine. Until the end, and that's Strange's arc. Strange's arc, it's a boring arc because he's Magic Iron Man. So him, Reed Richards, and Tony Stark have the same fucking problem, and that arc is not that important, or not that.
I don't think it's that it's boring. I think they don't do anything interesting with him. Like what I was trying to say at the beginning of the recording.
It's
listen. What I was but it could have been the foreground. It could have been the story. Yeah.
No, that's
something
fair.
Like
that's a fair argument.
Something like that we saw everything everywhere all at once. It could have been like something similar to a Christmas Carol, where you meet these 3 different strangers, or these strangers that are so similar to him, but the circumstances of their life have brought them in drastically different situations. Like there could be a good Strange. He could have been the neutral Strange. Then we see Sinister Strange. And I think seeing the ways in which his life could have gone wrong really could have caused a major growth for the Strange that we know. Also, this movie commits a crime that I think it annoyed. I didn't really notice it the first time, but it annoyed the shit out of me the second time.
What is it? Because into what you're speaking to before, yeah, it's there, but it's the subtext of the film and not the text of the film, and that will vary on your enjoyment. For me, it didn't bother me that much, but I can understand for someone who's more character motivated for a movie why that would not really make you satisfied. It's a fair criticism. I think it's fair. It's just that one is all up to personal preference. But what's the thing that annoyed you?
So the thing that annoyed me was, well, a couple things. One, I thought it was so cool that he trapped Wanda in the mirror dimension, and that she, rather than trying to break the mirror dimension, she just slid through it.
Yes.
Why the fuck?
I really like that moment. Oh God. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Did America Chavez look in the goddamn puddle when she knows the main person you're trying to get, just so Sam Raimi can have his fucking eyeball fetish? That was so dumb.
No, you're right. There's no excusing that. They could have done that with the gong. They could have had her pop out the gong. I mean, and the way she came out was really cool. But you could have done the puddle thing on the gong before she, like, they don't notice her until they see the eyeball, and then the arms start coming out. That you're right. I'll agree with you on that one. I'll give you that.
The thing that actually annoyed me was something that so after she gets out of the gong, she's showing the different realities or whatnot, and then Strange poses a valid question. He's like, and what about the other Wandas? What about their children? And then it's silent for a second.
Fuck them bitches.
And nobody's saying anything. and then Strange just throws snakes at her. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? This woman just broke into your palace, bro. She's broken into your palace. You're trying to use knowledge on her, and then you just attack her? Like, bro, we're getting places.
He's trying to use common sense, and she said...
I hate when movies do that.
He said no.
He's the one who brought common sense, and then he used action because, it's a movie, we need to have action. I was like, that was fucking dumb. I thought that was so stupid.
I think it's because he's like, she's like, oh, she's thinking, let me try and get the jump on her ass. Because by the time she attacked Kamar-Taj, she was beyond reason. Because remember, she said, "This is me." Like, that was me showing mercy, coming here with the fucking doom cloud behind me.
You know what it was? You know what it was for me? The first time I watched it, I felt this. We went from such a drastic place from the last time we saw Wanda to her attacking Kamar-Taj. It really gave me Game of Thrones season 8 Daenerys Targaryen vibes, where she was just like, fuck this city, and burned the entire town. I was like, this feels eerily similar to this, because we went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Which
also, the fact that
this movie could have been a little longer, I wouldn't have complained.
It could have been longer.
It could have had 20 extra minutes. I wouldn't have been bothered.
Doctor Strange told this woman, the most powerful. First of all, he knows she's a sorceress. She knows that
she's dumb. Like, she was already the strong. Which side note?
Right.
She's the strongest Avenger, and we now know it from this movie, from the Illuminati fight. Like, fuck Captain Marvel. God damn. It's like, I'm the strongest Avenger. Bitch, the strongest Avenger is over there with the dead robot dick and the dead speedster boyfriend and the imaginary kids.
Right.
And that's all you had to do.
So the thing,
you had to take her dick away, and she said, "Oh, it's on, nigga. It's a wrap. I can't have some dick. Y'all are washed."
It's Dunning Ring. The thing that really got me was the fact that Doctor Strange tells her where they're gonna go to protect America, and then after that, she threatens him, and then reveals to him that she's the legendary Scarlet Witch. Which his reaction is not, "Oh, we need to get this girl safe immediately." It's like, "No, we need to hold down our forces and keep her at this place where we know Wanda's gonna come." I was like, you can literally travel anywhere in the universe. You have a ring that lets you travel anywhere you want to, and you're gonna stay in the ground, even when she breaks through the forces. Bro, you need to get the fuck out of there, because she's coming for you.
That's the one thing I'll offer pushback on, is because, like, Kamar-Taj is probably the safest place because it has all the artifacts and shit.
Not until it's broken into. Then you need to leave. You need to go somewhere else. Once that fortress is penetrated, you're fuced. You need to leave.
Okay. All right.
Like, you guys are underneath the grounds or whatever.
Yeah.
It felt like, okay, you've seen Game of Thrones, right? Well,
yeah, I've seen it.
So remember how in the White Walker episode, in like the after talk or whatever, and Tyrion or the Peter Dinklage is like, he made a comment. It was like, yes, we're staying in the crypt where all the dead people are. Like that's what it felt like to me. I was like, why are we staying here? We know exactly, like we know that she's here. We know that she's coming.
Yeah.
Clearly, America's the biggest priority. But like, no, we have to keep her here because that's what the story needs for us to move forward and travel through the multiverse. I felt like it was. I feel like in both the instances,
no, that's a whole.
I feel like it was sacrificing logic for the sake of having a story progress forward, which I cannot ignore. Like even me being altered realized that happening, and I was like, "This is not good. This is not good storytelling."
I'll give you that. That's a whole because I can't. Like initially, yes, you can make that excuse, but once she breaks through, and that I'm trying to think, did she take their sling rings?
Yeah, once she breaks through, bro, you can go to Titan. You go to a different planet.
She didn't take anybody. Now how you could have gotten around that is if she somehow got all their sling rings. And they don't have.
Yes, you could have done something simple. So, never give a reason.
Yeah, so that is a way to get around that problem. That is a big problem that is easily fixable by her somehow taking their sling rings, because she grabs a ring off a corpse later and gives it to Wong. He lost his.
Yeah.
How did he lose? It showed it. I'm trying to remember, even though I saw.
All in a deleted scene.
So it's a deleted scene. But yeah, so Wong lost his. Strange got his back because they go to Kamertage.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. Now if that is
also they do Mordo dirty in this movie.
About alternate Mordo or Mordo in general.
Both Mordos. They do both Mordos hella dirty in this movie.
They come for that man and his Tyler Perry.
Strange's Mordo.
Leave his Tyler Perry braids out of this.
Tyler Perry ass alone. But the fact that somehow in between Doctor Strange 1 and Doctor Strange 2, they're mortal enemies without us even seeing that. Which I was like, that would have been a storyline I would have liked to see personally, to follow up the natural evolution of Doctor Strange's story.
And that nigga was killing wizards.
He was killing wizards.
That's where his story. That's where his story left off at the end of Doctor Strange 1.
Apparently, something they cut out or changed was the fact that at the beginning of this movie, main timeline Mordo was hunting down Wanda and she killed him. And I was like, I'm happy they cut that out. Yeah, she killed mainline Mordo in the beginning of the movie.
Where did they say that? That wasn't in that article that you sent.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a deleted scene. Hold on. I'll send it to you.
Okay, wait. What the? No, because that's a huge hole. That's a massive hole.
But they cut it out because they want to save him for later.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Jesus. Because it's like, if they just, he would have been done really dirty had they kept that in. Thank God they cut that out. That would not be, whoa. That would have bothered the shit out of me.
Yeah.
We can talk about Mordo a little bit. Yeah, like that is a big hole. That is a very fixable hole. It's an easily fixable hole. It's like she took the ring, they couldn't travel.
One?
Boom.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Or somehow the Darkhold rendered like the rings unusable. Like there's a very easy narrative workaround for it. But yeah, if it's not in the text or subtext of the movie, I can't really do anything about it. So it's a fair point.
And I will say, to take a break from me bitching for a second, I think the way Sam Raimi uses his camera work in this movie is really brilliant. For the most part, I really enjoyed Danny Elfman's score. I really enjoyed the fight and the brutality of what was happening in that opening scene with Gargantuan, I think his name
Gargantos.
is. Gargantos. And then the way he killed them, the way they were fighting in New York, and then you see that
he was using creative spells too. It wasn't the boring shit that he did in the first Strange. Like it's different colors. Exactly. He's using creatures like Strange Supreme.
The magic. Yeah, they advanced the magic of Doctor Strange, which I really appreciate.
Like Defender Strange freezes the monster at first, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, he uses a white spell instead of
orange
one, right?
Yeah, so.
And yeah, it was a very colorful movie as well.
Yeah, like the color grading throughout the movie is very, very different. Thank God. But it's like very bright, which I like. It's very Raimi-esque.
Okay, to go back to bitching for a second.
What did you remember?
Because we're still in the first half of the movie.
Okay.
The fact that America is like, or Doctor Strange is like, prove it that you're from an alternate dimension, and then shows him the corpse of alternate dimension Doctor Strange. And for a man that literally just dealt with the multiverse, he wasn't too bothered or anything by the fact that an alternate version of himself was just there in front of him. And rather than try to dispose or get this body out of his realm, because I feel like it's a common trope or a common thing, even with the last movie had established, you can't really have the multiverse open like that.
Yeah, something just occurred to me. That's why he caused an incursion at the end of the movie.
Because no, he caused an incursion because he possessed the body, not because the body was there.
But also, the body being there will cause an incursion.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
but
no,
I think
this is a point that's to your credit, but is also like plot relevant. Like, yes, also because he made it worse because he possessed the body, but the body being there is an issue that I mean, at the time he didn't know that incursions fucking existed. So all you're gonna do is like bury.
He didn't know, but he's known enough to know that there can't be people from another universe just chilling in your universe.
Oh, it's a dead body.
The universe.
What is he?
It's still your body, though. It's still a second version of you.
It ain't going nowhere.
It's a second version of you. You need to destroy that body or sit it somewhere.
He'll deal with it later.
You have access. You have access to the dark dimension. Just send it. Literally send it anywhere but your dimension.
Look,
but they have to keep it there for the third act of the movie.
Yeah, because
it just throws out logic to make story convenient.
Okay, that one I don't think is really a logic throw out, because like if I saw a dead version of myself, my first thought is, yeah, we're putting this thing in the grave and we're just gonna pretend I didn't see it.
That's great, but you don't have magic,
bro,
and you didn't just deal with a multiversal event,
bro. If I did have magic, I would do exactly what Strange did and put that shit in a hole in the ground and not think about it. The less I think about it, the better.
But you just dealt with a multiversal event with Spider-Man.
I don't give a
weeks
fuck. If the dirt is right there,
you're causing incurgences and shit because you don't.
The dirt is right there. It is like, I have bigger fish to fry. Where the fuck did?
No, you deserve that third eye for being stupid. That's what you get. You got a third eye because you blind as fuck. That's why you got a third eye.
Exactly, because
you're doing stupid.
And again, think about where Strange is at the beginning of the movie. Plot. He's literally thinking about himself, not even the other version of himself. Literally just him in that moment. He's like, all right, well, let's get this out the way. Like in that moment, that is a minor inconvenience to him. Because he doesn't know about incursions. He barely knows anything about like the Darkhold, the Scarlet Witch. He just knows that
he knows about the multiverse, though. He literally just dealt with it.
Yeah, but
and the whole crux, but that issue is that we need to save people from an alternate universe.
That shit got dealt with in the moment. It's like, okay, I don't have to worry about that again. Oh, there's some new multiverse shit. All right, well, I'll deal with it as it comes. Like,
bro, where's that box? Where's that box from the last? Oh no, it was destroyed. That's right. The box was destroyed.
Yeah, so it's like,
press the button.
So like that one, I don't think one, it sets up a cool thing for the end, and two, I don't know. I would probably
it sets up a cool thing. I like it. I like what okay. Given that it was dumb initially, I liked what they did with their dumb idea. I like that. I like how the follow up of their dumb idea. Given that it was a dumb idea initially, what they did with it was
loops around exceedingly well, and that I think that's the biggest, I would say, crux of the movie is that. Like when we were talking about it, the holes that it has are balanced out with really cool shit. That's kind of the counterbalance. You get some that's a little stupid, but then you get something that's pretty fucking cool.
I think that the thing for me is like I think it varies on the viewer. I think because the stupid stuff bothers me, I think, more than the cool stuff I enjoy.
And I think it's the other way around for me, because like him being a wizard with the power of gods, and his first thought is, let's get this out of the way. Like that's very much like a first thought. Cause and Wong is right there. He's the sorcerer supreme. He's like, I think that violates Norn. It's like, it'll be fine. Like they don't care about it in that moment.
Wong at least acknowledged it though.
Yeah,
if I saw a multiversal version of myself, I'd be like, okay, we got to burn this thing, because
Again,
literally in every multiversal thing, you're like two versions of myself
the
existing in
corpse
one
ain't
place.
going
It's not a
nowhere,
good
big
idea.
dog. It ain't going nowhere.
It didn't. It didn't. Was it cool when he brought it back? Yes.
It's very
But
Evil
was the
Dead.
initial thing being there in the first place? Dumb.
But like
That's just how I feel. Ooh.
if we have a multiversal event coming up again, my least worry is that there's another dead me that's there. It's like, okay, let's figure out what was the thing that killed me, and do I have to worry about that? That is a much bigger issue because I don't want to die.
You could easily destroy the body as fast as you could bury it.
You could, but what if
you never think that thing is just going to come back to bite you in the ass? Like you don't think about that?
No, I don't, because I'm worried about the thing that bit me in the ass from the dimension where I have a ponytail and speak Spanish. I'm more worried about that than dead me right here. I'm
not saying we got to trip about it. I'm just saying we got to dispose of it.
It is disposed. It's on a roof.
It's buried. Buried is not disposed.
It is disposed.
Serial
out of sight.
Killers are more thorough with the way that they deal with bodies.
Out of sight, out of mind. That is how he treated it, and I don't think he did anything wrong.
Definitely does.
I will die on that building top.
You die on that building top, bro. You let those bricks be buried on you. That's cool.
I'm saying
we can agree to disagree.
He put dirt and he put fertilizer and flowers over them and some rocks. It's like, all right, we got much bigger shit to deal with than alternate me. What the fuck killed alternate me? That is my prevailing question.
And then we just brush up. Okay, what did kill alternate him? The fact that we just kind of brush over the fact that Wanda can send monsters through the multiverse. What?
That?
If that's not the most broken power I've ever heard.
I mean, she was broken the whole movie.
She was broken the whole movie, but without even having the ability to go to the other multiverses. You can just send shit at will.
She was sending evil constructs. She was pulling, which, in a way,
one of which killed Doctor Strange.
Yeah, which they could have maybe touched on the whole relationship about like Chthon and the chaos magic and its relationship to the Darkhold. I think they probably cut that for time if they did want to explore it more, or they're saving that for later shit, because they might be saving that for the third one when they introduce Clea and everything. But it's like
something I would have liked was I would have liked to see Wanda's relationship with the book itself, with the Darkhold itself.
Yeah, I'll give you that. They could have shown more of her, essentially her descent into.
It was more of a CGI after. It was more of a CGI afterthought in this thing that she had than this thing that was like talking to her and corrupting her and making her like lose her shit.
Yeah, and
I never I got the sense that she was like angry, but I never got the sense that she was like disturbed. Corrupted. I never got the corrupted sense.
It's set up at the end of WandaVision, but I think the moment that sold it is the sequence at the end. Which I will say, what they should have done is they should have taken the screams from the end of WandaVision and made that the scene at the end. And we'll get there fully, but it's like made that the scene at the end, so then it comes full circle.
Ooh. Okay, something else. Is that okay? This is more of like this is definitely a nitpick. Okay. It's not a criticism.
We haven't even gotten to the multiverse sequence, which is amazing.
We haven't even gotten to the multiverse.
That whole sequence is just like dope. Niggas are hating.
It's cool, but right,
bitter bitches.
So the thing that bothered me, we've both seen this movie twice.
Yes.
Elizabeth Olsen is great. We know she's a great actress.
She was really good here.
For the most part, she's really good.
I thought this was the best Benedict has done with the role.
He was great too. The one scene.
You're talking about wait, which scene? Go ahead.
Where I was not with Wanda with Elizabeth Olsen's acting choices. When she goes in between talking and whispering right before she attacks the thing, or right before she attacks Carmitage.
Oh, when they were floating.
What you have to think, we're gonna get them, and then you'll see. This is my final form or whatever the fuck you said. I don't know. I was like, why are you doing that? Why are you switching between talking and whispering? Like, he's standing 5 feet away from you. This man can barely hear what you're saying. He can hear half of your words, woman. Why are you doing that?
That's a nitpick because I noticed it, but it didn't bother me. I'm like, aren't they floating? Can he hear
It's
her?
It weirded me out.
I mean, and that's
it's definitely a nitpick. I acknowledge it's a nitpick.
To be fair,
like,
that's more of a comic book ism because Shazam literally made fun of that, where the villain and they were like a mile apart. So that,
but she goes in between talking and whispering, which made it worse. Which made the whispering, the change in the volume noticeable because she was speaking normal volume and threatening.
This is me showing mercy.
This is
being it was this is me being reasonable. He was being a Karen, being a flying fucking Karen the whole movie. It was hilarious. It was great,
But I did like the scene where she broke through the barrier and got in the guy's mind, and she shows up behind him. I was like, "Oh, that's so sick." She
punked that bitch out. She's like, "Who is the most weak-minded?" You with the shaggy hair. She just and I liked it. That was a really cool callback to Age of Ultron. She just leaned in this motherfucker's ear and went, "Run," and he punked out and fucked the whole thing up. You couldn't stay strong by a bad bitch for 5 minutes. They said, hold. She said, run. And he dipped.
You know what I think? You know the reason why I think pick Sam Raimi was the fact that they could technically fulfill the promise of having this be the MCU's closest thing to a horror movie without it actually being scary. Because the type of quote unquote horror that he does is campy horror. It's not like actual like nail biting. This is tense and I'm uncomfortable kind of horror.
Yeah. Sam's horror
it's like safe horror.
The scary shit is not. It's not like an Insidious or what was the one with the boogeyman one? Is that Insidious? The one with Ethan Hawke? It's not like it. No. Like, Sam's horror.
Imagine Ari Aster's Doctor Strange.
Jesus Christ. I would actually
with Wanda as the.
I would actually break you. Like that. That's a scary. That's a psychological nightmare. With like,
oh my God.
if you wanted a horror version of Everything Everywhere All at Once, that's what that would be. Like that would be like a psychological nightmare. They would deal with themes with like abortion and like medical trauma.
Yeah, I feel like Sam Raimi, he did something that was within the genre of horror under technicality, but they wanted something that wasn't too scary for children, but something that qualified as horror.
Like, don't get me wrong, Sam can do shit that will scare you, but the feeling will pass. Like you'll jump. It's that type of horror. Like if you've ever seen Drag Me to Hell, like he's good at jump scares, but they don't feel like forced and they don't feel annoying. Like the scene where like Wanda pops out, like he's good at building tension and he's good at executing it, but he follows through with it. Like they don't just disappear after the scare, like, ooh, it's scary and now you're scared. It's like, ooh, they're scary. Now they're chasing you. Run, bitch. Like they make you follow through with what happens after the scare. Cause it's like, you're not just scared. Now, what are you going to do about the scary shit that's coming at you? You know, if a demon pops at your door, right. It's not just staying there or leaving. No, bitch, the demon is trying to get you. You better either run or fight. It's like he follows through with, and that's one of the reasons I think it's hard work. Like, have you seen Drag Me to Hell? Spoiler for a movie that's over 10 years old, but she gets dragged to hell, and it's legitimately unnerving. So it's like, because he follows through. That's the thing with Sam's horror. It doesn't stop at the scary bit. It follows through. I think Ari Aster is different because there's a lot of buildup. You get the fear, and then you just get a dark ending. But yeah, it can be campy and comedic at times. But when it's scary, it's like, okay, here's the scary bit, and then what happens after you get scared? Because the scary thing doesn't leave. It doesn't just disappear.
Scares keep going.
Yeah, the scare keeps going, and you have to figure out as a person what are you gonna do. Like think about when that was a bit in Spider-Man 2, where it wasn't just Doc Ock's arms woke up and and then things got dealt with. No, The arms woke up, proceeded to kill everybody in the room. You see how they die, and then he's like, "Boy, I might have gone a little crazy." And some, it's like, "What did you guys do?" Like he has to sit with it. There are consequences to the horror, essentially. That's why I like. But it's not there to be like, "Oh, you have to sit with the thing that made you scared." No, he follows through with it narratively. I think it's cool.
I can get that. And then
It's a different type
okay,
of horror, very much so.
yeah, no, I understand that. Uh, yeah, I don't think I liked all the horror stuff. Like I thought it was like, ooh, this is fun. Like this is like
It's
a fun possession scene, or like this is a fun like she's coming to get you sort of scene.
yeah.
So I'm like, I enjoyed the aspects of the war, and I enjoyed the style of the movie. I just think some of the logic was.
I mean, let's talk about
But
the multiverse shit as it was, because the every time they do, they get better and better with all of Doctor Strange's appearances since that first movie, with like making things better, like the way he used magic against Thanos. That was an amazing fight back in Infinity War. Uh,
it was a
the
great
mirror
fight.
dimension fight in No Way Home was fantastic and just really trippy.
Beautiful.
And this one is, I wish we got to see more, because it's every universe they break
He didn't
through
really
is,
fight that much.
you could do like a full breakdown off every universe, him in America, and noticing him trying to like hold on to her so they stay together. He's keeping her safe, and like Strange's face. You know, you got the paint world, the retro world, the animated world, the future world. They go through the Savage Lands. Like,
Oh, okay. Let me ask you, what did you like more? That dimension hopping scene, or the open your third eye scene from the first Doctor Strange?
I like the dimension hopping more.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. That open your third eye scene is still great. Still holds up. Still amazing. Um, but this one is, I think it's like, that one is such a mind bending sequence in, I guess, kind of like a spiritual way. Like it has to do with like, um, it's that difference between the internal and the external experience of perception. So in the original one, that's him like opening his mind to everything that the world can be. That's like uh him reacting to the full breadth of possibility for himself. This is Strange being thrown externally into so much new bullshit that he can't even comprehend. So it's like it's outside his perception of reality because it's multiversal. So it's like, on the one hand, you have like him seeing a million versions of his hand upon his fingertips versus a world where he is paint.
Yeah,
And
I get that.
those
And
cannot be
yeah, we do
any
see a lot.
farther apart. They're both gorgeous. They're both fantastic. Um,
They're both reality expanding
yeah,
for sure, and
I think,
different ways, more
yeah,
internal, external.
I think one is internal and one is more external. And I think I like the external one a little bit more.
Literal.
But I'd probably put No Way Home fight a little bit uh, above it too. It's like,
Ooh. Okay, and I as cool as I think the first one is, or as cool as I think the multiverse of madness one is, you know why I prefer the first one?
you prefer the first one.
I do prefer the first one.
Oh,
Even though I think it's cool. I think it's
oh
awesome.
no, yeah.
I
I'm
prefer
just curious as to your thoughts. Why you prefer because I gave mine. Why you prefer the first one?
I prefer the first one because it's expanding his mind, and it adds to the evolution of his character and that character's perception of his own reality.
Our
I think it goes back to character for me.
our reasons line up perfectly with how we are. Because for you, it's a character expanding sequence, and I think that's why it's great. Like it's an internal thing. Like that's his soul going on a journey. This one, for me, it's like it's his body, and yeah, is it a narrative device? Yeah, but it's like this is
You know what I would have liked
It-
made it more? Because I feel like outside of him puking, he didn't really have much of a reaction to the fact that he just went through like 12
Right.
multiverses, or 12 other.
He just tried to brush that shit. I'm like, kid, I've been on a lot of. Just-
Yeah, I was like, okay, like you've done everything, so it's like nothing can surprise you
until he gets surprised.
because you know, right? So he has to puke. So yeah, 'cause that's I guess that's what the thing comes back to for me. But I think it was cool. You see the living tribunal. We see them as
Yeah.
paint. We see them animated. We see them in the 1940s. Like all that stuff is dope. I think that the stuff was really cool.
I know
wish
Luke is.
I would have liked to have lived in some of those places and
Yeah.
like have them hop through them like instead of a montage. But I think the actually seeing them was very cool.
Yeah, I do agree. I wish we could have stayed just a hair longer because I can't imagine what the like render time on that entire sequence alone was. Like the whole sequence is like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I know that took them months to do. Maybe a year just to do those
yeah.
every little 10-second increment. Like visually, it's absolutely fucking insane. Visually, like yeah, I know everybody's very hyped about the visual effects in Avatar and how real it gets, but goddamn, like shit like this in Spider-Verse is just untouchable to me. You can make something look as real as the day is long, but something that's like this or the first Doctor Strange sequence are always going to blow those out of the water because I prefer, I think, creativity to reality. If we're talking effects. Yeah, so
I think are we still talking about the comparing the open your third eye scene to the multiverse?
yeah,
scene?
and I was just doing a brief because we also got like the trailer for Avatar 2, and I know people like they're like, "Oh, it looks so good, it looks so beautiful." I'm like, "Yeah, it does. It looks great." But I will give you people are gonna hate me, but it's like I'll give you that first I'd rather that first Doctor Strange sequence over Avatar any day or Avatar 2 because it's like
Really?
it's like yeah, you can have these visuals that mimic reality, but to do something as creative as like touching glass and reality implodes on itself. Or for you to like touch a butterfly and then be the size of an atom and a raindrop and a star at the same time. Or a star is like a twinkle in your toenail. Like that's creative. And that's some beautiful
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, that is visually stimulating and visually creative. I can't. For me, I don't know if I can compare them in that sort of way, just because yeah, they both are technically like visual effects or special effects. I think one was trying to have an experience that expanded your perception, kind of putting you in the shoes of Doctor Strange. I think other one's just like using technology for visual world building.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of the first Avatar. Like I think it's fine.
I agree.
But I'm curious to see where the story goes for the second Avatar.
I feel exactly the same. I think with the use of the technology for VFX, it's because like the peak will always be animation because you can do anything in the world of animation, like creativity wise. And I think the experiences with Strange, um, things like this or things that like everything everywhere does with their multiverse impact are like that perfect bridge between reality and imagination versus like this uber reality. So they're not uncanny valley. Not at all. It looks, very, very real. But I think I value people that try to make that bridge between reality and imagination. And I think multiverse projects are like the best, you know, place to do it. So if you're talking like Spider-Verse is like peak. And what we're gonna get with Cross and Beyond, I think will be some of the greatest animated feats we'll ever see, for this generation. But I think what's strange and impressed me with is like how creative you have to be. Like, can you imagine being in the boardroom? It's like, where is he gonna, American can punch through dimensions. That's always been her thing. It's not a MacGuffin power. It is how she is, and she was originally supposed to be in No Way Home, but they moved things around and they got things clear. Then she got written out and moved to Strange. But like I can't imagine what the conversations are like. The VFX teams of just being like, go wild, come up with whatever you want. They're like, fuck, Paint World, King Kong dinosaurs, Savage Lands. It's like, of course you got to do animation. That's like the easiest one. Dinosaur Land, that's easy. But it's like Paint World, Future World, Retro World, like the 20s. It's like what's going on in those worlds as they're because you have a moving object going through a moving reality. Which Jesus Christ, it's a lot to take in a very short amount of time. I can't wait till it's like come out in 4K HD where people like breaking it down scene by scene. I think that'd be a really interesting like sequence to see how they break that down visually. But yeah, so after that lovely mind fuck, we land in Universe 838 where they walk on red. At first, I thought it was going to be like some animal world, but it seems like a very eco-friendly world where they like don't use money. Or they're theorized to not use money, but I thought it was like it.
Well, they do use money. She thought
She
it was
thought
a
wrong.
money.
She stole them balls from.
She thought wrong.
From my boy Bruce Campbell. Cameoed as it's pizza time. But no, I
didn't like the cameo. I didn't like Bruce.
Didn't like I
didn't like his cameo.
I was excited to see him. I think that's what my excitement is.
I knew he was going to be in it.
I think because
that's nostalgia. It's pure nostalgia.
Yeah, because I love Bruce. I'm glad Bruce had it. I think it's because I think we wanted more. If I was Sam and I got to do whatever I wanted, I would have done Evil Dead versus Marvel Zombies as one of the universes they passed through. And that would have been the cameo for me.
That would have been cool. That would have been super
because that's an actual comic, so that would have been a really dope reference of just having an old man swing against like not evil, like zombie Captain America or zombie Scarlet Witch, and just have him go like, "Damn zombies." He doesn't even have to have the chainsaw. He could have a shotgun. That's all I needed. He's like, son of a bitch.
You know what I think I didn't like about the cameo? What? Felt like, yeah, was it for the fans of his work? Yeah, it was. But I think if you can contrast how they used him in the Raimi trilogy versus how it was here, I feel like every time you saw him in the Raimi trilogy, it was this cameo, but it was worked into the story.
Yeah,
what he was doing. But here, I felt like the movie stopped so Bruce Campbell could have his moment and then watch Doctor Strange be excessively cruel to this fucking pizza vendor.
Yeah, he was a dickhead to him for over some pizza balls.
He was a dick. He made him
beat his own ass for 3 weeks.
Beat us for 3 weeks.
Christ.
Like, Jesus.
Like that's
because he's gonna fucking spray you. But the movie stopped to have that moment. Okay. And I didn't think it was that funny when it was happening. And then just for the movie Multiverse of Madness, I was waiting for a second post-credit scene, and it was just him at the end. I felt so cut.
I actually really like the second post-credit scene. It's very Ferris Bueller, and it's low-key kind of like a cynical fuck you. It's like, it's over. It's finally go home, you nerd. Like that's it was kind of Sam's middle finger, which I think I like the post-credits one like slightly more than the initial cameo. But you know what would have been really dope? If Bruce was that universe's Strange. He had like the comic accurate costume with the high collar, and he was the one that got killed by the. I think that would have made it. I
would have liked that.
That would have been really dope because he would have been there for the same amount of time. It's like,
you know what? I was like, why did this man get a bigger cameo than Stan Lee ever did in any other Marvel movie? That's what I think.
He should have been that. I think that would have fixed all the complaints. He should have been the variant Strange that gets blown to smithereens. And like they have that,
cool.
And they like have the, and it'd be hilarious if they had the statue, and it was like all the clothes were like comic accurate Strange, but then it's Bruce Campbell's face, and you're like, the fuck? Like that would have been very much of like after seeing the first variant Strange at the beginning, Defender Strange, and then you see this one, and you're like, huh, that's huh. And especially because he was supposed to be like Mysterio in the Spider-Man universes. No, it would have been really great if it
Yeah,
was like
that
we
was
mourn the death of Quentin Beck, the Sorcerer Supreme, and it's like what? Excuse me? Yeah, Doctor Strange
cool.
was Quentin Beck in this universe, and it was Bruce Campbell, but it wasn't like the Spider-Man Quentin Beck. Oh, that what could have been. I mean,
Had to work it out with Sony. Like that.
like the celebrity I think outshined the moment itself. But I mean, it's funny to like Evil Dead fans because it's a callback to Evil Dead 2 of him, an Army of Darkness of him basically kicking his own ass for an extended period of time. So it's like, and Bruce is really good with physical comedy, so that's probably why Sam did it.
Like I said, I think that could have worked, and I think if he would have like led them in the direction of Doctor Strange, or like, I think he introduced that you're cosplaying Doctor
It's like,
Strange.
hey,
like, what,
you took this from the museum. Yeah, you're a stealer. Hey, everybody, this guy's a stealer. He be hey yo, hey, this nigga stealing.
I guess he technically did. He gave a little bit of information to the story.
Can you imagine?
I don't know. I feel like the movie
Can you imagine Bruce Campbell being there like, hey yo, hey he a thief. Hey, this nigga stealing. Hey yo, hey, somebody get this. Somebody get this nigga in a universe where white people can just say it. I'd be like, huh, that's very bold for Sam.
That'd be
After that homophobic joke in Spider-Man 2002, he getting bold with the shits. It's a PG-13 movie. He can say it. I feel like Bruce Campbell, the only one that could probably, the only white person that could probably get away with it. It's just like, hey, wait a minute, pal. You stole that from the museum. Hey, this nigga stealing. And then just like speed off. He's like, you can call people the M-word in this universe.
Right.
I don't know how to feel about that. I got called the M-word by a street dude selling pizza balls. Things are backwards
it's
here.
Different here. It's different here.
Walk on red. White people can say the
yeah.
N-word. Things are backwards here.
Did you also notice everyone on the streets was wearing like gray or some variation of gray?
I did notice that.
In contrast to the fact that the entire city was so colorful.
Yeah,
I thought that was
that's a creative touch. Cool.
It was a creative touch, but then like when you get to like the Baxter Foundation, like they're all dressed normally or like scientists and they're all like heroes and they're all colorful. So I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, I felt like,
to be fair, the Illuminati was pretty right too. I get
everything that happened within the facility felt like it took place on a different Earth from the one that they landed on.
That's fair. They built different.
Yeah,
I guess is the only excuse I can say.
Yeah, I guess they're built different. And then I liked Strange. I like that they gave the comic reference of Strange having like the tall cape.
The high collar was cool. How do you feel about America's backstory? Because it's somewhat comic accurate to my memory, except apparently it wasn't. So she's from the Utopian parallel, and she does have two mothers that speak Spanish. Space Latina. So that was one of the complaints that one of the dudes had on the other podcast. He's like, oh, so she got scared by a bee and then opened a portal and her parents got sucked in. It's like, yeah, bro, that was the whole point throughout the movie. Fear was like the thing that triggered her, so she had to get her shit in check. Like that was one of his complaints. I'm like, bro, come on, that was set up early.
They literally set that up.
Set it up twice before that. Like if that was the first time, maybe. But that was one of the complaints. I'm like, all right, you're doing a little too much. But yeah, I mean, how
yeah, she looked scared of baby, but what didn't make sense to me was like you can look at your past for a discounted price. These motherfuckers had no money. How are they able to just do that?
Yeah, for discount. No,
discounted price free.
Here's my thing. What if it was like some really wild shit? Like, what if you accidentally step on that and it's just your cheeks getting clapped in HD? Hey, step off the thing.
Hey.
You walking with your homie and you step on it and it's just you smacking the things out of his mama, knocking the Sonic rings out them, John. I was like, hey, get off the shit. Like,
the first time I watched it, I was a little fucked up because I thought because they stepped on it, and because I don't know what the rules of their technology was, but when he was standing on it, I thought he was watching a memory of the universe
Oh,
of the
the
Strange
Strange
of
from
that
that
universe.
universe. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening, and maybe that is true because they both had the watch, but that would have made more sense because I don't know, how does this machine pick up the memories of a multiversal being?
I mean, I
But
think it
I
scans
don't know.
whoever.
That's semantics, I
I
guess.
think that it scans whoever steps on it. So,
Regardless of what universe
yeah.
you're in.
So,
But that's again, that's more of a pick, and I acknowledge
yeah,
that.
because it's just like if your human biology is the same as theirs, which it was pretty much, but that was also like that leads into the next scene where she's like, we don't know if you have different diseases or if you're different than us. I mean, that's set up at the beginning where she's like, how do you even know I have a stomach? So it's like it's lightly set up in a way, but it's like yeah. I'm
You have,
assuming that for the memories though, to purchase it, I'm guessing they're saying like to keep. It's probably like showing you what you
uh,
remember. So you can probably like buy them on like DVD to take home. It's like, oh, it's our first date for our anniversary. We got this video of us together. Versus just like you can watch it for free, but to take it home, it's like they got free TVs playing DVDs at the store.
I can accept that.
It's the
I'm
demo.
okay with
It's
that
the
one.
demo reel of your memories.
The demo of your life. Yeah, you can get that thing in your home and watch any memory
Exactly.
anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take
memories
that.
on command. Having a discount sale, but
But to answer your actual question though, how did I feel about her origin? I don't know. I think it was a moment, and it was enough to understand where she was coming from. I wish I would have liked to know a little bit more. I wish her and Strange could have talked about it, because I'm like, okay, we know that she's not in any other universe. We know that she isn't from the main, I guess now 616. Sorry, nerds.
oh,
Universe that
we're not gonna get into that conversation. Jesus Christ.
we're fucking no, we're not. We're not even gonna
No,
touch
because
that.
we're on this. I think we're in agreement about that whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think you and I are on the same page.
Yeah,
but
damn. Oh man.
some people are a little bit more passionate about it than us. But that's for
That'll be
another
another
time.
time. I'm not even mad. It's like God. This is what you need to fuck.
We wasted 40 minutes on
You
this.
need to get more sex, bro. Like, god damn. We as nerds gotta fuck way more if these are the things that we're worrying about.
We gotta
We gotta get
fuck
some more.
way
We gotta get some more
more.
sex, bro. Penis,
We
vagina,
can't be
whatever.
sweating the small.
Or
We can't be sweating the small.
yeah, more
Bit.
ass and grass for my fellow nerds, because this can't be the stuff that takes us out. Some numbers,
Right,
in a fictional movie. It's like, oh, we're about to argue in the in the Facebook comments over there.
right. We ain't gonna get into
We're not
it.
gonna get
We ain't
into
even
this
gonna
because
touch it.
we're in agreement about this. Yeah, we're talking about.
But I think I would have liked to have known more about it because, like, I think it was a reference for comic fans.
Yeah,
And it was enough to know that she has a sad backstory. But I was like, okay, well, is she from an Earth? Is she human? Where is this dystopian place that she's from? It left me with more questions about her and her life than I think they were probably intending to.
yeah.
And maybe they'll address it in the
And I
future.
think that, and I can see how that can be a tiny, like, it gives just enough backstory to be like, oh, well, these are things we could explore in future projects. And that's all you get. You get just enough for it to be like, well, why is she traversing the multiverse? It's like because she lost her parents at a young age, and that's where you get to start.
That's what they give.
Because when you're a walking MacGuffin, we don't talk about the fact that you have two moms.
Right. And I was a little I'm of two minds of that whole scene in general. And I think that yeah, it's to display the technology of this other universe. But on the other hand, I think it's just lazy for two characters to just watch each other's origins and that's how they connect rather than actually talking and getting to know each other. And I thought
Yeah,
I was like, okay, I
yeah,
guess.
no,
Because
that's
we don't
good
have time to actually we don't have time to actually have them connect as characters. So we'll just show you so they don't have to do the legwork of getting to build a relationship.
Yeah,
They'll just watch each
actually
other.
I'll give you that. That's a fair point. Where they could have, as they were walking to the place, it could have been like so. like, what's your story since I'm not your Strange? And then you just show what you showed, and then Strange is like, damn homie, that sucks. And she's like, okay, well, what makes you different from my Strange? And then show the same scene. He's like, damn homie, that sucks.
Or the fact, or what they could have done, another fucking layup, is the fact that having them connect over the fact that she feels like she lost her parents and that's her fault, with him feeling like he lost his sister and him feeling that's his fault. Fucking characters, bro.
I disagree with you. Because and then it ends up setting.
There's a smarter movie in here. The pieces are there. There's a smarter movie in here.
Yeah, because what they could have done is they could have shown him thinking about Donna. But what he explains is the situation with the watch. Like he tells her about the date, but he's really thinking about his sister. And then at the end, when he's talking to himself, you get the context for that scene with his sister. God,
that could have been.
Fuck.
They could have.
That's a really good idea. God damn it. Ah, shit. I can't even dispute that.
Let me write the next.
Yeah.
Let me write the next one.
Shit. Let you write El Muerto. Fucking save that bullshit. So we get to the Baxter Foundation, and I won't even hold you, bro. Oh shit, we didn't even talk about at the beginning about Christine marrying a black dude who was a fan of Strange. He was racist as hell in that seat. He was saying some.
Oh, Strange.
He was saying some. He was on that Doja Cat. Niggas ain't shit. Come up in your crib, fucking your white bitch. Can't pay rent. Look at what you did. Listen to your friends when they say niggas ain't shit. He was mad. Because
Strange was.
That wasn't Jesse Williams. That wasn't John David Washington. That was just a black guy. I know he got.
I don't care how much magic you have, bro. You can't improve that stroke game.
All the magic of the gods, and you can't keep your bitch at the crib. Like you saved the universe from you saved the world from a universal threat, but you couldn't keep a bitch at home.
You know what fucked me up in that moment?
Man,
the first time I watched it.
Oh, that shit was funny. Because I know he got real racist. He's like, I should talk to T'Challa for a little bit. I might have some choice words.
I was mad. He's mad at Mordo. Not for the same reasons.
He get extra mad at Mordo. Mordo's just like, so we meet again, Strange. Yeah, you motherfucker. After everything that you did to Christine. He's like, I feel like this isn't about me. I feel like, wait a minute, hold up.
He got other shit you gotta work through.
He's like,
we can workshop it. We could come back later when you got your shit.
It's like, you must be very mad that I've that I've killed all the wizards and stole the magic textbooks, and you fuck my bitch, you black motherfucker. It's like, whoa. Whoa, Steven. You were not like this in Kamartage. Wait, I feel like this is not about me. Like, you're not mad that I killed like 100 wizards and stole all the textbooks. I feel like this isn't about me.
You know what's funny in that scene? Well, I guess I was like, oh, like I thought that's something it didn't register. It's funny now in retrospect.
It was like my first thought. The first time I watched it, I'm like, ooh, and he's black. I'm sorry about the way my brain works, but that was the first thing. I'm like, ooh, it is.
That's hilarious.
I think had he been like Asian or Latino, it probably wouldn't have really hit as hard, but I don't know.
No, he's a fan.
He's a fan. You lost her to a fan, bro.
Lost her to a damn fan.
Can you imagine if Drake's wife left him for somebody that's like, hey, I love your music, bro?
Oh,
that's funny.
the worst.
Like,
The
I think that's
worst.
worse than like.
The thing that fucked me up in that scene was that when he was like, after all that, you still didn't get the girl. My immediate first thought was like, oh, the fucking time jump. She didn't get snapped.
Yeah.
So she had time to get this relationship with this
She had
guy.
5
He was
years.
away. She had 5 years with this man, bro. You can't trump that.
Yeah.
He was clapping these cheeks for 5 years.
Just
He knows the ins and outs.
Because Strange came back dusted and like checked her Facebook. He said, "Oh no." that be the devil of that, like, that post relationship, new relationship guilt, because he was in it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. He's aware.
like when she found out Steven was dust, she grieved. She went to Jamaica, and here comes this motherfucker, Dexter St. Jacques. What gun you crying about, gal? What your blue coat crying about? Flinging his dick over his shoulder. Come with me. I know how to rope feet.
Girl.
She was like,
let me rub the sins of the island in your skin,
right.
girl.
It's like, damn, he probably lost his like wife in the snap. She lost her boyfriend. He's like, yeah, me Queen Nikki didn't go and be 5 years, and it's just like, oh, damn, that's crazy, Chris. Well, you know what? I'm still gonna be in Jamaica for a couple more weeks. My boyfriend is gone and stuff. Well, maybe we should keep each other company. He didn't even have an accent in the movie. I'm just fucking around to make Steven more mad. It was like she went on a trip, probably ran into him. They had a meet cute, and they started having dinner together. And he didn't pressure her. He was nice, understanding. He's probably emotionally intelligent. He's everything that Strange isn't. He probably listens to her. He lets her hold the knife. He's like that motherfucker from Abbott Elementary, Greg. He fixes shit right then. He doesn't put it off.
Right.
He's a fixer.
He let her cut the wedding cake.
Yeah. He was like holding her hand when they cut the wedding cake. He probably wrote his vows and everything ahead. He's probably like something wholesome, like a firefighter. He works at like a puppy orphanage. Something nice, but low stress because she's a doctor. She probably makes more money than him, but he still pays for shit every time they go out. He's one of them niggas. Like
he finally lets her eat his ass.
Right. Like he's
Steven would never do that. I always wanted to eat your ass. But you always had to hold the knife.
You always had to hold the knife, Steven. I tried to throw your legs over my shoulders, and you said, nah, bitch, I'm not with the shits. He probably does eat Christine ass like a bowl of cornflakes. Full fat milk, not 2%, bitch. Throw them things over his shoulders 2 times. Just, and with the bow. She's like, I'm marrying him. Yeah. He pays for bills and eats ass. Yeah, he gonna stick around for a little bit. Because when she was at that wedding, she's like, "Are you happy, Steven?" Because I'm happy. I am content.
I'm over it.
I am over the moon. I am doing exceedingly well. As long as like, are you happy? And he just powered through that story. He's like, of course I'm happy, Christine. I'm the happiest I've ever been with your husband that's a fan. Like, he didn't want to go to that wedding. He didn't want to be. He's trying to look out for her as a friend. And he's seeing his friend up there get thunderstruck by this black man. And the minute the city was in trouble, he's like, thank God I have some shit to do but be here.
That's why he was so salty when he saw Mordo in the second act.
He wasn't mad because it was Mordo. He was mad. He's like, finally, somebody to take my frustration out on that looks like that motherfucker from my universe. They don't even look alike. It's like the episode of Atlanta where he was beating him, and motherfucker didn't look anything like Earn. Just because he had to say, and that's how racism works, y'all. Which I won't even hold you, bro. I wasn't checking for Christine up until we saw the 838 version. I don't know what it was.
I wasn't even
Some about her having better hair and a better fit. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
hold
I
up.
didn't. I might have missed something. That's right. This is the shawty from Mean Girls. This is Regina George. I almost forgot about you. Yeah. I almost forgot. This is Regina George. I see Regina George in him. I almost forgot who this was. That's right.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
I'm sweating. Let me get my church fan
Yeah, I
out
was
real
feeling
quick.
away. I'm like, wait a minute. All they had to do was fix Shawty's hair and get her some better drip. Now I'm paying some close attention to Regina George over here. Which, all right, so um let's talk about the Baxter Foundation sequence. Because this is my favorite part of the movie.
Well, before we get to the, it was great. But before that, we should talk a little bit about the
Mordo.
when he first meets Mordo, and then like the weird. I don't know. That scene felt strange to me. Both times I watched it was not him Mordo and them talking, but like when Mordo was telling them when they were learning about dream walking, and then it starts playing like rock music. It felt so weird to me. I was like, this feels like it belongs in the wrong movie.
I liked it.
Why is this
it was unexpected. I'll say that, but because I would have expected that more for like strange, because that happened earlier, I think too, when like Gargantos, they just hear dear, 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 and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, yeah, I'm with it. You got me on board, I guess. The guitar would just come in at random points.
I gotta watch it again because I straight up don't remember that part. But yeah, I think this is the most. It's funny enough. I think it's the most rewatchable, problematic movie I've ever seen. I'm like, damn, this shit's entertaining. I got my issues, but I can't lie if I didn't say I wasn't having a good time.
Yeah. So,
but
to be fair, I
has the weird.
Actually really like the music in this movie, and we didn't touch on it much, but it's because I
like it for the most part.
I like it for the
most
it's
part.
the Oingo Boingo nigga. Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Not John Williams.
Danny
Elfman. He's a great composer.
That's your go-to.
What? Hey, look.
Not the composer of Spider-Man, the nigga from Oingo Boingo.
Hey, look, Oingo Boingo got some bops. Ever listen to Flesh and Blood from Ghostbusters 2?
You know this man's name.
I forgot it. And it's such a unique name.
Like Hans Zimmer. Like, yeah, Danny Elfman.
Hans Zimmer. John Williams. The Oingo Boingo nigga. It's like Danny Elfman. Yeah, the Jack Skellington nigga. God damn it. He's like a critically acclaimed composer. Yeah, no, the motherfucker from Nightmare Before Christmas.
I can't name a single Oingo Boingo song, so I couldn't contribute.
He was on the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack. I'm not kidding.
Oh, there you go. That's the throwback reference for you. He's he was around.
I love his score for this. Not knocking, Michael Giacchino's work in the first one, but this one he got bops. I didn't realize.
Didn't he also score Age of Ultron?
I think so.
Yeah, he scored Age of Ultron too because he replaced Alan Silvestri.
Yeah. Jesus.
This was the better score of the two.
I agree. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm looking at like his score filmography. He's done both Men in Black and 50 Shades of Grey, which could not be farther apart upon the spectrum of like Jesus.
I was highly unaware.
Yeah, I forgot he did 50 Shades soundtrack. He's also done Darkman, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I've never seen that.
It's fun. It's what's his name? Liam Neeson is in it. The first one. He technically he played the main character in the first one. Another fun little Sam Raimi superhero romp. It's technically superhero. We get essentially the what's the word I'm looking for? Or when they just explain the plot for a second about what dream walking is.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that we've never heard of. And
book of John P.
Say what?
Book of Ashanti.
Yes, the Book of Ashanti, not to be confused with the Book of Ja Rule.
The Book of Aretha.
Man,
The Book of
the Book of Beyonce. What did you say? The Book of Beyonce. Yes. We got to put respect on Vishanti. The way the motherfuckers were just like, the Book of Ashanti. I'm like, fuck y'all.
The Book of Erica Badu.
The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You know, somebody that there was like, the Book of Ashanti. The only book I know is the Book of Jesus. Like, the only book I know is the good book. Do you know who he is?
Book I know is the Book of Solomon.
Yeah, we get the exposition for like the Book of Vishanti and not like Book of Vishanti, but for Dreamwalker and shit, which I think is a really cool concept.
I don't think it's called the Book of Vishanti. I think it's called something
the
else.
Book of Vishanti with a V.
Vishanti, not Ashanti.
Yeah, the Book of Vishanti, Vishanti.
Okay.
Vishanti is like a magical being that I believe trained the first ancient one. I think.
Oh, okay.
So that's because the dark hold is from Chthon. Yeah, Vishanti is a godlike entity, and pretty sure they trained the ancient one. That's one of the those who sit above.
Do we also think that the reason why they're refusing to give Strange the title of Sorcerer Supreme is so he can earn it in the third movie?
I'm thinking so, because wasn't he briefly the Sorcerer Supreme?
No, he was never.
He never was. I thought he lost the title when he got dusted. I thought he was Sorcerer Supreme during Infinity War.
Oh, he was in line for the title, but then Wong got it on a technicality.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Ancient One died, and then we went into Infinity War, and then the next time we even addressed it was No Way Home.
Yeah.
So what happens? So they get knocked out, and then they're in the cell, and then that's when he sees Christine.
We get Christina George over here.
Christina George. Christina George Palmer.
We get Regina George Christine, bad bitch Christine. Working for and she said the Baxter Foundation. I'm like, Baxter Foundation? Oh my goodness, that's a reference. Oh my god, I know. And then I clapped because I know what that was. Yeah.
So you caught it immediately your first time.
When I first heard it, I was like perplexed. I'm like, damn, they mentioned the Baxters. Okay, no, that's cool. I thought it was like, that's a cool little nod. That's a cool little reference. Not thinking they will do anything with that. I was completely blind. And then fucking.
Well, no, we can't go there.
I know.
We can't go there
Tyler
yet.
Perry Mordo comes in, and they're she's giving him the run about why they're in these polycarbonate boxes. And Tyler Perry Mordo comes in just like with the Ultron bots that look more comic accurate.
Better looking.
I'm talking about the Illuminati will see you now. They will take presence with you.
And yes, and then they get him all cuffed up, start to walk him out, and they cut to another motherfucking scene.
I was hot.
I was so mad.
I was tight. Every time it happened, I'm like, show the fucking Illuminati. Show them. Give them to me, Sam. Give them to me.
Did you give them to me? God damn it. I'm like, did they really fucking commercial break me right now? You know this is not the shit we want to see. You know we don't give a fuck about this right now.
To be fair, when they were walking around and when they went to the other sanctum, I'm like, I wonder what's going on with Wong and Wanda. And we'll get back to it at some point. And then it goes that far because the scene is very long, and then it cuts there back to Wong and Wanda. I'm like, you motherfucker. I'm like, that's probably my only complaint with the editing is that it cut right when it's getting exciting because they have to. But it's like, and it's not that the other stuff isn't exciting. I think they could have moved it around a little better because I was hyped for the Illuminati.
Didn't bother me the second time.
They have to pull me back into the plot.
Yeah.
We were.
No, yeah, because the movie takes derails for a second to set up for the the setup for the future of Doctor Strange, and then goes back to the main plot.
They pull me from some setup for more setup that's necessary. Don't get me wrong. It's giving its insight into what is the villain up to. How's she doing? You know, we have that poor Sam Jackson looking girl who survived and then stabbed the Darkhold to
Sam Jackson.
Oh, my bad. Was that rude?
Bro, I thought she looked okay. I didn't want to say nothing. I didn't want to say nothing.
Hey.
No. That wasn't even my thought. Legit. I was just
I didn't mean that in like an asshole way. She has a very
No, you didn't.
It's like
she was like I was like thrown off when I first saw her. I was like, what the fuck? Who am I looking at right now?
I thought she was a guy, and then she was a young lady.
Same. I thought she was a guy.
Then it's like, oh, she
looked animated. She looked like she belonged in a TV.
She was a young lady who looked like she looked like the middle point between Letitia Wright and Sam Jackson. And I mean that in an observational way. I'm not making fun of her. She did very good with the 5 minutes she had before she turned into Ash, which was kind of, I was a little disappointed. I'm like, did the dark skinned girl have to go?
We'll get back to that scene. I have some words about that scene.
So do we want to go through the whole Illuminati bit and then go back to everything with Wanda and okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the Illuminati bit. So the court of the Illuminati will see you now. We get ushered off with the Ultron bots. He goes in, the doors close, and Mordo just appears on top of this room full of thrones, in this throne room, if you will.
I wish the trailers would have shown none of this. Like, I wish we didn't see the Ultron bots in the trailer. I wish they didn't tease Patrick Stewart. I just wish none of this readily.
I'm cool with the Ultron bots. I agree with you about everything else.
I'm not. No, I don't want to see the Ultron bots because you think it's this dark Doctor Strange movie, and then the when you see the Ultron bots, that's like the whitest part of the movie. Like everything's white and futuristic. So I was like, what the fuck is this? This is drastically different from the rest of the movie.
I'd be okay if it was only the Ultron bots. Like the Patrick Stewart thing, I think they could have left that out. The Captain Carter one, which so I accidentally got spoiled about Captain Carter being in it because I follow Haley Atwell, and she was posting photos of herself at the premiere. I'm like, well, thanks for letting me know that you're in it.
Really? You didn't even see the shield on the poster?
I got
really?
And what was wild was I almost got that. You know how that had that awful TV spot? I almost had that as an unskippable ad on YouTube. Luckily, like the 5 seconds were up, and I skipped right past. I'm like, no. That's a side thing. This movie had like really good marketing until it didn't. It got really bad in like the last month for some reason. Like, it's okay. We're gonna see it.
Sony took over. Right. It was good until Sony took over their marketing team.
I don't know what happened. They
pulled
like spectacularly fumbled that back, but luckily some of it was some surprises. So
I didn't get
completely spoiled either. Yeah. Like a lot of people evidently did. There were a lot of leaks that dropped, and luckily I avoided. I'd say I was pretty intensely surprised. So like with the Illuminati, we had Ordo on the council, and then I think they did it in order of like almost in order of biggest surprises. Because the shit took me out person to person. So I knew, I sort of knew Captain Carter. I had an inkling, because I'm like, oh well, she's at the premiere, and they're like, then maybe she's in it. But I was still excited. You know, it was nice seeing Haley Atwell again, seeing her in the costume. Didn't expect them to do this so soon, but so it was nice. So we got Captain Carter, we got Maria Rambeau, Captain Marvel. Her eyebrows look way better in this movie. They let her have her natural hair. That was a pleasant surprise. I'm like, okay. And again, that was another one that was like kind of trailers. People were trying to decipher if it was either Maria Rambeau or it was a Superior Iron Man, but we couldn't tell. So that one was kind of in the trailers too. So those two I sort of saw coming. I was still pleasantly surprised. I'm like, hey, it's Maria. Who should have been a lesbian? But then first,
I was semi-surprised.
Then we get the first big one that blew my fucking socks off. God. I don't even want to say it. And this is a whole spoiler review. So
We're spoiling. We've
we
been
got
there, bro.
John
We've been in
Krasinski
this
as
shit.
fucking Reed Richards. And I almost flew out of my chair. I was like, holy,
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I'm like, holy shit. Hey, listen, they did it. Like, and not just Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. Fucking Mordo is just announcing every council member, and then we get that joke. It's like, hey, didn't you guys chart in the '60s? And everyone read into it. It's like, oh, they must be, an old team from the universe. No, you raggedy bitches, it's a Beatles joke because he's old. It's an old ass name because it is a corny old ass name. No, John Krasinski. Wow, I didn't think I'll be honest, I didn't ever think they would do that.
I heard the rumors, but I didn't think they were
Like
true.
I
And then I was like, oh
yeah,
shit.
like as a fan,
Oh shit.
I didn't think I didn't think they were listening. And apparently Marvel listens a lot more than we think they do. Because John is kind of like Benedict Cumberbatch, where he's one of those fan casts that have always been there. And I didn't think, and I never think that they'll actually do it until they do it. Because with the fan cast, they either go right on or they get somebody so completely unexpected, but they still work really well. So like,
was Benedict a fan cast?
yeah, Benedict was a huge fan cast. Before Doctor Strange, he was probably he wasn't my fan cast. My fan cast was one of the actors from The Mummy. I think his name is like Arad Rui or something like that. I have to pull up his name.
I think mine was Ethan Hawke. I think Ethan Hawke
would have been a good one.
Strange.
But yeah, Benedict. I think I remember being on like Tumblr. Benedict was like a huge fan cast where everyone's like, "Have him be Doctor Strange," based off of his performances like Sherlock, like either Doctor Who or Doctor Strange. They wanted him as one of the doctors. So yeah, and I didn't want Benedict because he was too on the nose, which is ironic because I feel the total opposite about John Krasinski. Is I want him because he's so on the nose. I feel opposite about Benedict than I do about John. I've come around about Benedict after this movie, but John, I was like, fuck. And I never realized how much, which is even more funny because he was almost Captain America, but then he bowed out. John sounds just like Chris Evans. You ever notice that? A little bit.
No.
When I was watching him as Reeds, I'm like, fuck, he sounds just like Chris. I never noticed that.
Man.
But
I think he's good. I'm happy we got him, and I'm sure he'll be great if they continue to use him. I thought it was great.
That one blew me away. And then somehow I got more surprised when they pulled back. Now, this holds a special, painful, like this unlocked a painful trauma memory. They got Anson Mount back as a canon accurate Black Bolt. Blackagar Boltagon said the whole government in that shit. And that shocked me more because on the other YouTube channel, I had to watch that piece of shit Inhuman show to talk about it on the old Marvelite podcast. And that was...
You watched the whole thing?
Start to finish. Episode 1 to episode 8. And that was the only compliment I had for the show is I said I would like Anson Mount back as Black Bolt. I thought he was actually pretty good as someone that didn't say shit the whole show. He was very good with his nonverbal acting. It took a lot. So Anson Mount was actually really good. So to see him back, it blew me away more than John Krasinski because I'm like, I thought John was like, they're not going to, it was like, they won't do that. But Anson Mount, I'm like, they'll never do that. They will never. It's like, it'd be fun if they did, but they'll never do that. And he was the best part of the show. He was the only good part of that show, honestly. And so not only that, but they gave him like a perfectly comic accurate costume, which that's a whole separate conversation about like how those are kind of doing better at it. And it's getting to a point where you realize not all comic designs are good. But no, he looked fantastic because like I could tell by his eyes. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, that's Black Bolt. Oh my God, that's Anson Mount. Oh my God, that means Kevin knows that the show exists. Holy shit. So
they acknowledged it. You know, I think his helmet was CGI. I feel like it was.
I think you're right, but it looked really good. Which
it felt weird to me. I liked it. It felt a little off to me. I wish it would have had a real helmet, but the costume itself was fine.
I'm gonna need to see some. I need to see some BTS because maybe it is real and it just maybe the way it was like molded or modeled, like I was just impressed that he looked straight out of the comics and that it was Anson Mount. Which, to be fair, he doesn't talk, so you're just paying him for screen time at that point. And he
Literally,
everybody.
we said one line.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, he had two words. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we
really study for that one.
Thinking about the sequence is like making my heart flutter again. Because it was just like No Way Home was different because it's like a nostalgia and like Andrew's my Spidey. He's always gonna have a special place in my heart. It's a difference between, oh wow, that's so cool that they finally did that, and this is something that I thought they would never do. Oh, and then Professor X shows up with the X-Men 92 theme playing in the comic accurate yellow chair.
And the suit, the comic accurate, or the TV accurate.
And the suit, and I'm just like, God damn. And they show a lot of parts that I think are really good. And where the scene goes, it's kind of a Last Jedi thing, but I think this does something slightly different than Last Jedi, which it works more for me here than what Last Jedi should have done in concept. Why I make this comparison is like the issue with Last Jedi's version of Luke is he doesn't have that middle. It was provided by the Mandalorian a couple years later. All they needed was that Mandalorian sequence, and boom, it connects. Of them like in action. For me, and that's gonna be a lot of people's complaints about one, this isn't comic accurate Illuminati. This Illuminati team is more treated like an Avengers team than what the Illuminati actually was, which is like this secret high society of geniuses, including like half this team, which is like Professor X, Namor, and Black Bolt, or Professor X, Reed, and Black Bolt. So it's not the because
to see them, they didn't actually become we didn't actually see them as the Illuminati. We just know that there was.
So this Illuminati not only killed their Thanos with the power of their Strange is on the Illuminati too, like the comic version. Like the Illuminati is a bunch of like smart, rich, and powerful white men. It has no women. It has no people of color. Not a shock. But this one, it has women and a person of color. So it's progress. But I think the one thing that I think they got right is the characterization of all of them in a way. Because they treat this.
I feel like we didn't get to see enough of them. I felt like Professor X was accurate.
X was accurate,
and it's hard for me to tell from Reed.
Richards, I'd say is, even though we got
he didn't get enough.
I'm definitely coming from a place of bias because I can see that as like outside. And mind you, I'm not even like a huge Fantastic Four person. I think I'm reading through the subtext of it because it was the thing I was telling you earlier. Reed, Steven, and Tony Stark are the same dude in 3 different flavors. It's a smart white guy with a beard who is up his own ass and sniffs his own farts and thinks he's better than everybody. It just manifests in different ways, like slightly different ways. So people are complaining about the Illuminati being nerfed. I'm like, no. From jump, they point out that they highly underestimate Wanda. Because they're like, we beat our Thanos. They don't have a Scarlet Witch issue. They never had Scarlet Witch being a villain, is what it seems like. Because when Wanda shows up, they're like, it's just a white woman with some lasers in her hands. Because like Captain Marvel brushes it off, and Reed heavily underplays it, and he almost kind of like dismissive. She's like, and that we'll get to that too. She has that cold ass line. She's like, do you have a family? He's like, yes, I have. He's like, I have a wife and 2 kids. And she's like, then there will be someone to take care of the children. I'm like, fuck. Oh, you gone, bro. Extra dead.
Then he does the dumb.
Tries to reach out.
Reaching out.
I'm just like, I don't know.
Like, what are you gonna do, bro? What you gonna reach out with?
So
4 seconds of reach. Like that was the slowest reach.
We gotta talk about like the demise of Illuminati Strange, where we do see Black Bolt with his dope comic accurate powers, little sonic wave turning him to ash. Because that Strange was manipulated by the Darkhold. So naturally, I understand they're going to be suspicious of another stranger. Like, nah, we're not worried about the witch. We're worried about you, brother, because we've seen this happen once. And if you're coming here to get that book to stop her, yeah, we can't let that happen twice. It's bad enough the first time. We don't want those problems again. Like, if she's a wizard like you, it can't be that big of a deal. They don't have to. It seems like they don't have to deal with like the chaos shit. So they vastly.
I wish I would have that personally.
So what?
Like obviously not stop the entire movie. Well, I mean,
No,
I guess
I wouldn't have minded
I would have
seeing
liked
more
to
of the
see
Illuminati because I really enjoyed their presence. I do wish it.
a couple things I would have wanted to see. I would like to see the discourse and the debate amongst the Illuminati with that Strange. Like, I don't need to see them fighting Thanos, but like
He was dead. He had
see
his axe in his
them
chest. Did you catch that?
Oh,
Caught that on the
yeah,
second one. I'm like, oh shit! Wait, he's right there.
Yeah, no. And also, did you catch that Reed Richards was just holding Doctor Strange's cape?
Which I'm just like,
Yeah, he just
I
holding.
guess contraband.
Yeah, I guess. I'm like, okay, it's blue in this universe. His suit is entirely blue.
Yeah, and he didn't have any facial hair.
Yeah, no, he did not. But yeah, I would have liked to seen that, and I would have liked to seen like the Illuminati at least fight Wanda. Like the dude didn't get to do anything. Like Black Bolt, okay, that's understandable. He would have destroyed everything, but like, please let Mr. Fantastic do something.
He stretched down to the ground,
Yeah.
and he stretched out. So he showed his powers for 2 seconds.
Kind of, yeah, sure, for a split second. Then he screamed. That was a good scream. I thought that was the best Reed looked while he was screaming because that was the clearest you could see the white temples on his.
I mean, you could kind of see it when he first showed up, but yeah, I was checking to see if it.
You could kind of see it, but you could really see it when he was
turning into spaghetti
because they like
got turned into Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, Chef Boyardee, and they give him that extra white rock.
We'll get to the shit with Wanda and Wong in a second, but basically, like as Wanda comes up, she's walking fast as hell because like Regina George is trying to get America out of the box that she put her in, and Wanda starts fucking with it. Then the Illuminati's like, we'll confer on this vote once we get back. So Mordo's staying there with Strange, and Strange is like, it ain't coming back, bro. he can smell. He knows that there's fire where that smoke is coming from. And again, they're going in vastly. They're going in expecting Wanda to be on like Strange's level, which my thought would be,
why did the only sorcerer, the person who has experience with magic, not go with them?
I guess they're worried about the wizard figuring his way out the cuffs because Professor X is in a chair. What's he gonna do?
Yeah. Also, Professor X totally dipped out in between scenes or whatever.
He did.
First, he was in
the throne room, and like it's also he kind of turned on the Illuminati because as soon as they left, it like, believe in yourself, nigga. I don't think they're gonna make it either. he did not believe in the team at all. As soon as they left, he's like, so once you get out of here, because yeah, they ain't coming back. It's like, you bald bitch.
Warn nobody?
You had no faith. You didn't even try to go with them. You waited a good long time. You know he was sitting. He had that big ass yellow banana chair sitting behind the corner, and he's just listening to the screams of all his friends dying, and he's like, ooh, yikes! Good thing I didn't go out there. She would have balled me up like a thing of tinfoil.
I will say, shit looked a little goofy. Like the chair itself, I think it was like a little too high up on his waist.
That's just like the comics. I'll take it. I'll take it, bro. But
it looked like the comics. Could have been a little lower. But
here's the thing.
That's a nitpick.
The more comic accurate, the more we can. It's the pendulum, because we went from a day and age where the comic accurate versions look like some hot cross bullshit, like those leather X suits in the old 2000 X-Men. The comic accurate version where you realize artists need to be a lot more selective with the shit that they draw. So it's gonna start to even out, because look at Thor's costume. It's ripped straight out of the comics. It looks awful in real life.
This most
new one for Love and Thunder, blue and yellow.
Is it from the comics? I've never seen
comics
that before,
and it looks bad in the comics too.
I like it. I'm in the minority of our friend group.
Have you seen the helmet?
Really like his new suit.
Shaped like an eagle.
I need to see it in live action. I've seen the promotional images, but I like how he looks without the helmet, without the
It
sleeves. But I would need to
looks
see how
fine
he looks
without the helmet.
in
It's
motion.
a little over designed, but yeah. Look at the comic version. It is a whole separate type of bet. I feel the same. I've come around the same way from loving the Captain Falcon suit to not liking it because I realized, oh, that suit is ugly. It
Yeah, it's not great. I hope they
because
change it.
because I in the comics I'm like, wow, this is creative. Then here's the thing. If you're this is just a minor side tangent. If you're gonna make a variant costume for a superhero, think about how that shit is gonna look on an actual person. The first step is
You know what I think they should? They need to make it red, white, and black. I think that would make it
Yeah.
better. But replace all the parts that are white with black and
Yeah.
replace all the
because
other ones.
the
just flip
the
it around.
first sign of it will be a cosplayer that will give you an idea. But when you see it in a movie with a lot more budget behind it, that will really tell you if it looks good or not. So having seen having seen a Captain Falcon cosplayer, I'm like, wow, that doesn't look good in real life. And then seeing it in the show, I'm like, yeah, it's still bad. That means it needs to change. So if you're doing art for comics, think about how this shit is gonna look on a human being because it's not always gonna look good. A lot of these costumes are dog water. We need to admit that. I love things being more comic
Facts.
accurate. Some of this shit is mid. A lot of that big ass banana chair. You might be onto something. It's like, because is it cool that it's comic accurate? It's hella dope. It's hella dope. But some things need to be tweaked in the editing room. Because think about the Scarlet Witch costume. It's comic accurate, but it looks cool.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the fact that it's a yellow chair. I just think the design for the yellow chair itself looks a little dumb.
Exactly. So we need to make some tweaks in some places for the next time he shows up.
There's cooler versions. There's cooler versions of the yellow chair. Hell, make it gold. At least give this man a
throne.
Make it look like a seat and not like make it look like a throne or a seat, not like a fucking quarter ride that you ride outside the grocery store.
That's exactly what I'm getting to. There's a middle ground of Jane Thor's costume in the comics looks solid. Jane Thor in the movie looks really dope. It's like the banana chair in the comics looks cool. The banana chair in real life, we got to make some tweaks. we got to make it look a little. We got to make some tweaks. Scarlet Witch in the comics, cool. Scarlet Witch in the movie, cool. Hella cool. I really like her design. It has a lot of really cool details to it.
I know you're not a fan of it. I liked John Krasinski's Reed Richards suit in this movie, and the reason I like it is because one, this is a version of him that already has kids, and two, he has a beard, which means he's been doing this Mr. Fantastic shit for a while. So it makes sense that he'd have the evolution of what his base suit would incorporate more black into it. I know you feel it's a little over designed. I felt it suited him for where this stage in his life would be.
I let it pass, one, because he's in the movie, and two, for the same reason that you give. Like I got past it once I made peace with the fact it's like, oh, this is an alternate universe. Okay. So it's like it is a perfectly viable excuse because I'm like, this isn't the main costume, and I'm hoping it won't be the main costume. So the exact reasons you gave, and also the fact that this is our first time seeing Reed, I'm giving it a pass. I'm letting it pass.
I also love that he has the 4 in the
Yes.
middle.
Oh my god. Oh, I hate offset designs. It bothers the fuck shit out of me. It's why I hate.
Why are you guys afraid to have it like in the 2005 ones where it's off to the side? Put that shit in the center of his chest.
It's why I can't stand Ben Reilly's costume is because the spider is offset. It bothers the fuck out of me when things aren't like symmetrical. It's just a personal grievance.
Yep,
so like that part I appreciate.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I was happy they did it, and it had like a digital part, like something like techie, where the white would normally be, but it was still like evident that it was a sign. I thought it was cool. I really dug the whole suit. I wish it was like more toned because he just looked kind of flat. He looked like a guy in a
costume might have been his costume might have been CGI'd because I mean here's the thing when it first showed up.
I think it was real.
When it first showed up, maybe it just didn't have like texture or shadowing to it. Because that's the thing. Like Spider-Man costumes have shadowing, or if you've ever like cosplayed Spidey. You know, that you can do shading or not shading in Photoshop, so it probably didn't have a lot of like shading to it. Um, but yeah, it was like when he first popped up, I'm like, wow, I love it. Wait, oh, I don't know if I like it. And then I come back around, I'm like, yes, it gets the job done. It does what it needs to do. It's fine. As a variant read, it's fine. You know?
It's like a half-ass hand job. It gets
Yeah.
the job done.
No,
It's fine. Like a sloppy drunk hand
it's
job.
like,
It's fine.
all right, I'll take it. I'll take it for what it is.
I'll take.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, the Illuminati go to take on the Scarlet Witch and get their shit collectively right. Oh my god, this is the most. It's my favorite part of the movie. It is also the most brutal part of the movie. Wanda legitimately turns into like a demon, a menace, the Scarlet Bitch. Like,
You know what I wish? The Scarlet Bitch. I liked it. You know what I was hoping for a little bit? I wish we could have gotten a little bit more violent with it. Obviously, we can't go as rated R as I would
they
like
did
it to be.
pretty good
But
about the violence in this movie. I give them that. They let Sam get away with a
they
lot,
did.
like more than I expected them.
There was a fight. I would have liked to see Fantastic do some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's PG-13 because I was like, it would have been cool if it was like the Scarlet Witch equivalent to like that Invincible scene.
Oh
with
yeah,
Omni-Man.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's what people have been saying about it. Is that it's
That would have been
basically
gnarly.
uh, her equivalent of the Omni Man. What was their name? Fuck, I can't remember their name. But and especially because like it ends up being like 5 of them too. But also notice she took out like one of the strongest ones right then and there. And people are complaining um about the fact that Reed states what Black Bolt's power is even before she knows, and I'm like, it's actually pretty in character for Reed. Like I pointed out, hubris up his own ass because Reed is going into that situation thinking because they're the Illuminati and because Reed Richards is there, they've already won. He has the same issue that Strange does. So
No, have a problem with me. I think him reaching out his hand like a dumbass.
yeah,
Is
I
fucking
guess
stupid,
I guess
but
he was gonna try to like wrap around her wrist, or I think it would have been like slightly smart.
well, like you just saw that she blew up your friend's head without even moving, and you think your first thought is to reach out at
What
this woman
you know what would
straight
have
away?
fixed it slightly is if he had one of those magic cuffs in his
What?
hand. Then there's like a little bit of meaning for him trying to reach
Yeah,
out. It's like
yeah,
I don't
I
know
see that.
what he
That
was
would
trying
have
to do.
been
If he was trying to
interesting.
choke her or constrict her or something.
Can you tell me something though? Just not to skip too far ahead, but why did Wanda have that limp towards the when they were running from her? I feel like that didn't make sense.
Did Captain Marvel do something to her?
Hello,
I'm
did she?
trying to remember. I'd have to go back and like look at the fight. I feel like there's an explanation.
I'm like, you can fly, right?
Oh,
I made it for like more horror esque, like to build the tension. But I was like, you can like fly,
because
right?
the lip went
woman,
away.
woman, you literally just yeah. I was like, woman, you literally just took a man's mouth away.
Oh my holy
Without
oh shit's gonna
moving.
stay
But
with me, yo. Like when Black Bolt's fucking death, especially because you see his tuning fork light up as he dies. Like when he makes the sound and then boom and it refresh. Because I'm like, what the? She matrixed him.
yeah, at first I was like, why didn't his head actually blow up? I'm like, oh no, it did, but the mask kept it all inside and just made it slide down.
Yeah.
That must be some strong material.
That's that fucking that fucking inhuman space leather.
Yeah, clearly.
And I guess because you didn't want him to blow half of his brains on the other half of the Illuminati. So I guess that's how Sam got away with it, because in reality, that shit probably would have aired him out over half that room. But to keep it PG-13,
Right.
it just blew up inside, which is still, that might be more gruesome, because that what that implies is that it's like everything, like his teeth, his tongue, and everything in his frontal lobe,
all his shit got scrambled.
yeah, like
His entire everything got
and
scrambled.
just that was the moment that fucked me up. It's like, easy there, Wanda. Black Bolt here will destroy you with one word from his mouth. And you see him start to like, he starts to smirk and inhale. And then she's just, what mouth? I'm like, oh, you raggedy bitch. You dusty motherfucker.
That was
And then when he dies,
yeah.
when he dies, that is the moment for me in the movie where shit gets real.
Definitely. You're just like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, she turned his ass to spaghetti and
She
popped
his head,
yeah,
bro.
No, they're
God damn. No, she killed the men first.
like balloon. He did.
He tried to reach out and just, but it wasn't just the fact that she popped his head. It's that he was screaming, getting turned into spaghetti strands before she did it. Just, Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's like actual pain. Oh no. I thought she was gonna do like Thanos did Drax and just like turn him into confetti string. When she popped him, I'm like, oh, he's gone. He's like, that was his brain that she took out on the way. And my favorite part is how long Captain Carter lasted. He should have been the first to go.
Right. I was like, there's no way. Right. I was just gonna say that. I was like, bro, there's no fucking way.
Even in my first watch, I'm like, he lasted a long time for somebody with a jetpack and a dinner plate. Like,
right.
Like, she took out two pretty strong dudes right then and there. And I guess Wanda must have been toying with her or something, because she was trying to get a couple swings in and she's blocking all the punches. And then there's this.
I was like, oh, that's cute. Look at you. You think you stand a chance. That's nice.
And just like the other two had some gruesome death. Oddly enough, like the women got it kind of light. And mind you, like that, the fight with Captain Carter lasted a lot longer. And the fact that she like reverse Buckied him. Remember in What If, Steve got killed with the shield. But in Winter Soldier, Bucky caught the shield. So this is the first time we've seen the second time we've seen the shield kill somebody. Third time. Second time we've seen it, but like she got bisected, bro. That's nuts. You saw blood on that shit. Pretty move.
What?
Captain Carter getting bisected with the fucking shield is a dirty move.
Oh yeah, hella
like,
dirty.
So move. That one, like she caught it with her powers and winged it back at her and just thunk. And I'm like, oh, like I got sad all over again. I'm like, no, but like I got sadder for her. I'm like, no, bring her, get up. Like, get up, here. Peggy, get up.
You say you can do this all day. I thought you said you can do this all day.
Do this all day and got killed 2 seconds later. Like, it's clearly not.
Okay.
I can do this all day. Eyes immediately. Like that was the one that made me say, get up, Peggy, get up.
You can do that. You can do this all day, bitch. Who do you think you are, Christine's husband?
The jokes come full circle. The last one truly cemented Wanda is the strongest Avenger, no matter what Carol believes in her white privilege. When the real Captain
they dispatched Captain Marvel disrespectfully.
They did. And people were like, how did she get killed by the statue? I'm like, well, it's kind of like, remember how have you seen Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F? Remember when Goku got killed because he got shot by that frog with a pistol? Yeah.
Did he? Fine.
Remember he got killed in a really bitch ass way, but it was explained.
I don't remember this, but I need to rewatch the movie because I watched Super, but I've actually seen the movie Resurrection.
It's the same. It's the same storyline.
That's kind of hilarious.
Shot.
I don't think he got shot by a frog in the show, did he?
It was an alien that looked like a frog who had a little laser gun. He caught him from behind, if I remember correctly. But that's basically how I saw it. Is she caught her slip? Is like, I think Wanda realized if this bitch gets up, I might actually be done. So let me drop this statue on her while it's convenient.
Didn't Thanos headbutt her and she was fine? Or I guess that was the other one. That was the white woman.
She's
That was
power.
the,
She
that
had
was
the
the
power
power of
privilege.
privilege.
There you go. The POP holding it down.
The POP.
No, I mean I figured that the statue just got the drop because I mean she still has like a human physiology. He can just take a punch.
True.
It was
Yeah.
you can still get stabbed and shit. Because remember, like even at the end of the movie,
Yeah,
Wanda takes some punches to the face.
she does.
Yeah,
She? Oh yeah, by America.
pops
That's
her
right.
ass in the face
Right.
a couple times, like a real one. A bad motherfucker.
She does get America.
America, fuck yeah. But I think she just got the drop on her in a moment of weakness because like she was powered down. So I feel like if you shot Captain Marvel while she's powered down, that's still a bullet, bro. You know?
Yeah, I suppose. It was a very quick way to dispatch her, and yeah, got her. But yeah, we had to progress. We had to progress. I understand why they did it.
For the most part, she held her own pretty well. Like it makes sense that she lasted long there. Also, is there a callback to the Captain Marvel movie with that line where she's like, "Get out of my universe"?
I don't know, but I thought it was mad corny both times.
I think that was a reference because it felt
like,
familiar. I'm like, did Carol say that? Did she say like "Get off my planet" or something like that?
No.
It's got to be a reference to something because you don't just stick a corny ass line in there like that.
Out of my universe. I was like, that is
really
bad. That's like
definitely corny as hell. So that I think that's a reference to one of.
Was that her only line? I think that might have been her only line.
She also said, "We can handle your little witch." She had she had a couple lines.
Thank you for remembering. She had a couple lines. No personality, but a couple lines. She's doing her Carol Stan.
I don't know what it is about these powers that make these women get mad confident all of a sudden.
Mad bland. I don't know what it is about these powers that turn these women.
It's that it's the Captain Marvel curse, bro. Something about that photon energy make you mad. I hope they don't happen to my girl Monica. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen to my girl Monica.
Turning mad corn.
The best.
No, I think Monica be all right. She don't got the mainline white privilege powers.
She be saving white children. Remember in WandaVision, she saved them white babies.
This is true. You mean those
fake
white babies?
Them imaginary white children. Behind me, kids.
I'll get shot for you.
I'll take a bullet for you. It's like, yeah, this is definitely a work of fiction. I'll be damned if I die for some kids named Billy and Tommy.
Right. Yeah. I think that WandaVision is great, but I think that I don't know what they're gonna do in the other movie. But this shit was crazy. Yeah,
Captain Marvel held her own for a minute, but Wanda got the jump on her, so we know who the strongest Avenger is. No holds, if it comes down to it.
Thor, sorry
Thor, you're number 3, I guess. But so she takes out.
It's behind Thor. Oh, he's behind Hulk. Yeah, he's in front of Hulk.
Yeah, right now. For now, we'll see where things go with Hulk.
Right now. Mm-hmm.
So she single-handedly takes out 4 of the Illuminati. Charles is, and then continues to limp her way back to America. It's the fastest. She's like you said, she can fly. She's speed walking just for the drama of it all. She's just walking with her hands to her side. It's like she's not even regular. She's speed walking with her hands to her side. It's like, hey, you can fly, shawty. Wouldn't that be faster?
America's right there. You can just get her.
It took her a minute to get there because she was she was mad close. Like she wiped out all the Ultron bots. She was mad close, and then Professor X is like, "I guess it's time for me to go." Wheels of steel. So he rolls up, tries to psychic power. I thought that sequence was really cool. Honestly.
I'm sorry. Can we go back for a second to a scene earlier in the movie? Because I was talking about this, made me think about it. Do you remember that scene towards the beginning of the movie when right before Wanda gets the Kamar-Taj and Doctor Strange is like, we can't let her get America's power? Do you think that any of the redneck states they clapped at that scene?
I bet you they did. Actually,
Whoa,
I feel like they would have until they
yeah.
realized America was a little Latina girl. It's that. Whoa! Wait a minute! Wait a damn minute!
Little Latina girl. I'm
That
conflicted,
clap
damn
and
it.
then that pause. It's just like, whoa, yeah. Oh, wait a damn minute. She's a little Latina lesbian. Wait a minute. I,
Well, they didn't know she was for the gays
the
yet.
pin.
They can be racist. They can't be homophobic yet. Not until the midway
I don't know
point.
how many people caught the obvious fact that she had a queer BIPOC pin on her lapel of jacket. It was there the entire movie. I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to edit that one out.
Yeah, no, not for China.
Yeah, for China and the Middle East, it's like y'all just gonna have to deal with the fact she's a little gay girl with little gay moms, and that's ripped straight out of the comics.
I was surprised. Yeah, some people were like, thought Disney was like ham fisting it with her. I was like, I don't think they've ham fisted it at all. I was like, yeah, she had a pin and her jacket said "Love is love" in Spanish. So I was like, that's like if you're not, I didn't even realize it said that until like
she was
had to point
more aggressive in the comics.
Sure. It's like people. I know people are mad. I know we have a friend who was like upset. Like sheer personality is like nothing like it was in the comics. I was like, bro, you don't even read the comics. What the fuck? You don't know. You know nothing about this character. How are you mad?
Someone that has actually read a couple issues of last shitty run and then her current run, which it's all right. It's a lot better. It delves a lot more into her backstory. So I'm enjoying what I've read of her current run. But remember before that was garbage. Ooh, it was bad. It was like infamously bad.
Do you think, can you see this America developing into that America?
The what? The one from the shitty run?
Like no, do you think like, because I know that she has like a lot more attitude and whatnot in the show, like or in the comics, like she has like she's kind of witty and whatnot.
She's kind of really snarky.
I can't really describe.
My greatest exposure to her was reading the in Ultimates 2 from Al Ewing, which is one of my favorite comic runs of all time. But yeah, she's a snarky teenager. So she's kind of a wise ass. So,
I was gonna say, can you see them doing that in the MCU, or do you think they're gonna go a different direction?
I can see them going with it. I think the issue is that people would misconstrue her actual characterization for Marvel trying to like force humor, and it's not the case. I think people would be like, "Oh, there goes Marvel trying to force humor again." And with teenagers, gross. It's like, no, she's a wise ass in the comics who's like a bit of a ball breaker, if memory serves me correctly. So she's like dealing with that because you thought teenagers were annoying. You know, teenagers that are like snarky badasses. Yeah, that's what you got coming.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I think it's just good coming out. Which, speaking of the acting, I think the actress for America is she's fine. I don't have any issues with her at all.
Yeah, I think she's the youngest actor cast. No, not the youngest. I guess technically Marvel.
No, it'd still be Billy and Tommy.
Far. Are they? I don't count them because they're not the heroes yet. If they even make them heroes.
Which is funny because they're on the same team. They're both from Young Avengers.
I feel like we'd have to get another universe version of them before we can even.
Eli Bradley, he's another member of that team, so they're working their way up to it. It's gonna be a while before you see Young Avengers if this is the pace that we're at.
All I know is the actress who plays America is in real life.
Yeah,
60.
but it's if I remember the team correctly, it's Wiccan, Speed, Hulkling, Hawkeye 2, America Chavez, and Patriot. So they have all of that lineup except for Hulkling, which is probably going to come in Secret Invasion. They're still a far ways away from having a full team. It's like has their shit together.
Isn't Hulkling a Skrull?
Okay, so either Secret Invasion or
maybe
the
in
Marvels.
Secret Invasion. Yeah, I can see that.
They're building up to it. They have
Eventually.
I think 5 or 6, but they still got to do work with like Patriot and Billy and Tommy. So right now, the only ones they have that are semi-developed are America and Hawkeye 2. Yeah, Kate.
Kate.
They have a third of a team.
Like how you refer to a third of a team. If they let Spider-Man come and play again, I feel like part of my fear is like they're gonna try to make Spider-Man the leader because he's the most popular character, and I hope
You
that's
know
not
they
the
want
case.
to, but they can't. Maybe it'll be it. Oh God, it'll
Yeah.
probably. You know what they're probably going to try to do? They're probably going to try and make it bigger and start with like Shuri and Ironheart. I don't hate it, but
Possibly.
it's an option, I guess.
I feel like Sam might become the leader again. He might become the next leader of the
Okay,
Avengers.
I'm
If
okay
they
with
decide
that.
to go.
I'm just thinking it was like if they're going to do a young Avengers team, it's like that
Oh,
what that
young
roster is
Avengers.
going to
Okay.
look like. It'd be
Possibly, I
weird.
can see it.
It'd be a
I can
lot
see
of new
it.
faces.
I think they put Riri Williams
She's
on
gonna
the
be.
team. I don't
She'd
think
be
they
on
put
young
Shuri
because
on
she's
the
part of
team.
the champions. So they probably just saddle her with young Avengers. Because champions is Nova, Miles Morales, Viv Vision, um,
Is it,
Miss Marvel, and Ironheart.
they're doing a Nova show, right? Or a Nova movie. I heard they hired a writer.
I don't know.
Project.
Maybe I haven't heard any Nova news, but I could be
Okay,
wrong.
we've gone way off the reservation. That's side banter. So where were we talking? Where were
We
we
were
in the
talking
movie?
about Professor X going inside Wanda's mind hole and trying to
Oh
pull the
yeah,
real
we're about
Wanda
to
out
get
before the
there.
Scarlet Witch got there, and that was a pretty good death too. I think all the deaths in this movie.
I thought when he the shot where he goes into her mind and he's putting out his hand. I thought that shit was so funny when I
With
first
the
saw it. He was like,
him with the turtleneck.
maximum stand.
It's
Yeah, I was like, is this a fucking
I
Apple
just realized
commercial? Literally, somebody in my theater the second time I saw it, like Jeff Bezos.
I realized I haven't really seen like the back of Patrick
Just
Stewart's head before. I don't know why that was something that like
huh?
took my
No, he looked
attention.
hella Steve Ballmer. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I've ever realized
I'm
either.
just like
I
I'm
don't
like,
think
huh.
it's been a thought that
He does
crossed my
have like
mind.
a back of his head.
He does. He's a good head.
Got a bald head.
Got a
Bald
bald head.
Yeah.
He gives, he gives a good head.
He got
Better than
that dome
Steven.
on him.
Got that
He'll give you
dome,
something
baby.
strange, all right.
How did you feel about uh, Professor X's death?
I really liked it. I thought it was cool the way she kind of rolled up on him in the shadows and snapped his neck and he died in real life. I'm like, damn, she killed him in his dream, so he died for real. You've seen this movie?
That was a pretty trip.
Because it's just
That
like
was a trip,
everyone's
man.
probably watching these two motherfuckers stare at each other and like, oh, fuck. And I appreciate the fact that they didn't just wait there, but she kept like punching the
Oh,
hole, break break them out.
you know what have fucked me up, dude? If so, you know how he goes in and he goes into the rubble to try to save Wanda, right? So he has her hand. Oh, it would have fucked me up if he looked back at the red smoke. He turned back, and then it was the Wanda, and she pulls him into
That's
the
what I
cave.
thought they were gonna do. Is that like she was gonna come back and he was
Yeah,
gonna pull her in, but I think the next snap was a little bit more unsuspecting.
yeah, that was fucked. I was like, ooh, yeah, she got him.
Yeah.
She got him good. I was like, you don't got no mental defenses, or you don't got any mental combatants to do that, man. But it's okay. We need to dispatch him
Which, I
quickly.
mean,
Professor X killed for the third time. Third time's a charm. XXX. Complete
all
the death
connected.
trilogy. All connected, baby.
Yeah, so then
Multiverse.
these motherfuckers are on the run from the evil shadowy full mode Scarlet Witch. Um
Wait, we never went. I don't know at what point we would, but we
We're
never
talking
went
about
back to the
the
Wanda side of the
the witch and the
story
Wong.
before we got into the witch and the Wong. We never went back to
Yeah,
that.
so the witch and the Wong. We
What's
can
Wong
do
with
pretty
this?
brief with that bit because like Scarlet Witch, Wong, all strung up and hostage. The poor young non-binary individual goes and stabs the book. Turn into ash.
She does. That shit was hella easy. That shit was way too fucking easy. You can just grab the book and stab it. That was an option this whole time.
I
This
mean,
fucking
you'll die.
millennia old.
You'll
book.
die if you do it. So,
but I was like, wait a minute. Anybody could have sacrificed himself at any point in time to just kill this ancient book.
Okay, so
and that's just how it goes out.
Into one point that does kind of give me a bit of a raised eyebrow. After that, Wanda flips out, which, to be fair, but yeah, I didn't realize the book could be, but then we learn it's a copy. I guess that's why it's a little easier to destroy, is that it's a copy. It's not the original. So Wanda takes Wong and starts torturing like these 4 living beings, including a green cowman. I forget his name, but he's really cool. I thought he was.
No. Let's not skip past the part because this part, the part right before that, fucked me up. So what I thought, after the book gets destroyed and then Homegirl turns into dust, it does that really cool shot of like her on the ground in the main 616 and then cutting between her and the other universe, and it's like mirrored and parallel. I thought when that scene, what happened was that because she fucked her up mid spell, that Wanda was caught between the 2 different realities mentally. So she was living 2 existences.
Well, that would have been crazy.
That's what I thought was
everywhere
happening.
type shit.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought was happening. I was like, oh, now she's gonna go really nuts. But then it was only fading. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I thought she was existing everywhere all at once. I was like, oh, that's cool.
It just seems more like it was like fucking with the connection. It was like interrupting your Wi-Fi.
Yeah. But at first, I thought she was about to be living that in both areas. I was like, really whoa, wild. How are they going to do that? That would have been,
one conscience spread across 2 minds is kind of.
Exactly. I thought she was about to get fractured and go like actually crazy.
That would have been an interesting development of her like mind literally being split between Wanda and the Scarlet Witch, even more so. So it's like one.
I don't think I've seen anybody else have that opinion.
I didn't think about it till you mentioned it, but it would have been a really cool way to go because it does like show it for a brief second.
That's what it seemed like. Because I don't know, maybe that's just everything everywhere all at once that I just saw, but that's what it seemed like. She was living both of them at the same time, or cutting between.
But it seemed like in the moment it was taking a lot of focus. So yeah, it would have been interesting to have her be almost like trapped for a split second. But yeah, so.
Yeah. Huh? So also, the question is, why didn't she start
dream
whopping?
Dream whopping. Megan Thee Stallion, the Sorceress Supreme. Actually, that's a picture I posted. I did an edit of Cardi B as the Scarlet Witch. I think I put it on the podcast page.
So
in the Infinite Multiverse, there's a universe where Cardi B is the Scarlet Witch. There's also another one of Chloe Bailey as the Scarlet Witch.
He harnesses the power of the pussy to access other lives.
These are the variants we get, people.
These are the variants. So wait,
what about the other thing that you examine?
Can't get WAP out of my head. What are they?
You're talking about dream walking.
What was I initially saying? Dream walking. Oh, why did she not start Why did she start dream walking when they left for the other universe? Why wasn't she doing that the whole time? So she could experience her kids.
Because the connection wouldn't last.
Also, the idea was never proposed.
The connection wasn't permanent. Remember?
Oh yeah, because it's fleeting. Yeah, that's right. But like, if she can just like stay hooked up.
But again, it's not forever though.
Take breaks, chips.
It's like doing remote play on your PlayStation. So if your Wi-Fi cuts out, you're fucked.
Also, no one ever proposed the idea of her going to a universe where their Wanda was dead, so she can just hop in there and just have those 2 kids that were motherless?
I know. Fuck.
I was like, did nobody think of that as like a possibility? Obviously, you can do have a movie if that happens, but like, it's a multiverse. Like, I'm sure there's one Billy and Tommy that don't have a mom that you can just go to.
You thought wrong, bitch. They all have moms. No dads, but they all have moms.
Every single one.
That was definitely a minor thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, you want a universe where your brothers or your robot dick is still alive? Just the kids?
Right.
Fuck
or
them other
brother?
niggas? Okay.
Or your brother dick?
or that, if we're talking ultimates.
Pietro daddy? Right.
Oh no, we're in the worst timeline. What if that was the timeline where where there were the kids but no Wanda, and it was a timeline where Pietro died somehow. She died during childbirth, giving birth to Pietro's kids.
I would have. Oh no!
Yeah.
That's the one she has to pretend she wants to fuck her
Exactly.
brother.
Like, is that what you want for Wanda? She saw that shit and said, "I mean, I'm desperate, but
this is what I gotta do to keep my kids.
Kill a bitch before I fuck that nigga."
At least he comes fast. That's the best.
But
it's over before I even know. That's the sacrifice I have to make. It was very. It was really Wong.
Speaking of which, so
back to the
this is a moment that kind of gave me a little bit of pause. Is when she's like torturing those 4 students of Kamartage, including our green skinned cowman. And she's like, "Tell me, take me to where the original Darkhold is," and it's in Wundagore. And he's like, it's a secret place. I can't tell you. She's torturing 4 people. I'm like, so Wong, you're about to give up the secret to the original resting place of the ultimate book of evil, the ultimate book of the damned, for 4 people. Like, when I thought about it, I'm like, in that moment, I probably would have given it up because from an like empathetic point of view, but kind of like Strange said at the beginning of the movie, in the grand scheme of the multiverse, your sacrifice of 4 people, 4 people versus giving the Uber Witch the Book of the Damned to potentially rule the multiverse or collapse it versus 4 young wizards in training. I don't know, man. Like in that moment, I probably would have given up 2. But it was a moment where I'm just like, oh no, you probably have to do a little bit worse than that. Like, squeeze my nuts. Like, then I'll tell you. But them 4, somebody just killed themselves over a copy.
Those are his favorite 4. Those are his favorite 4. He loves the cow guy. He just got there. They had a really great bond.
Like,
they both like Beyonce. It's a match. He can't let his Beyonce buddy die. They're supposed to go to a concert.
Between torturing 4 strangers and a witch squeezing my nuts with everything she's got, the nut squeeze will probably get me to tell quicker. I'm not saying, and that's no shade to the other people, but it's like, hey, come on, man.
What if not? What if Wong got a nut spell?
Because when she was torturing them, she didn't torture him too. She just made him watch. He could have killed him right there. It's like, okay.
He gave up hella quick. I'm like, damn, bro, you don't deserve to be Sorcerer Supreme. You can't
he gave up the cheeks kind of quick. All right, I'll tell you. It's like, no, let them feel that for a little bit. This is what happens when you don't listen and fortify the shield. That because I think one of them was the bitch that ran.
Right. What if they did that? What if he did that thing where characters in movies hold out knowledge because they have a weird sense that the hero's about to come?
That would have been funny as fuck. He just sitting there waiting. He's like, actually, that might have been a little bit better as if Wong held out a lot longer and she's just sitting there holding him. He's like, "No, I'm not telling you a damn thing." And then it cuts back to and we get that whole like Illuminati shit. So she's like double dipping like that fractured thing you were talking about. Um, and then she's like, "Fuck this," and then like puts all the energy on the Wong, and then he gives. That'd also say a lot about Wong too.
No, I would have liked
Then
that
he,
more.
because then he ends up being like a self-preservation type. Like, it's in one to go. Fuck my nuts. My nuts.
My
Then
nutties.
they go to Wondagore, which
My
that was another
nutties.
comic reference that made me happy. I'm like, damn, I've heard of that place. So
Wondagore. What is the secret of your power?
I feel like that was a fucking
Wondagore.
Tenacious D reference.
You know that song?
I'm surprised I remembered the rhythm. So they oh, it's Nick. Jesus. And so they go to Wondagore. Then we get, Wong gets thrown off by the guardians of the mountainside. Think he's dead. He turns out to not be dead later. Does that basically catch us up with that? Because the whole time Strange and them are like running through the sewers and shit.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of skipped over the part that like they say that you can't go there immediately, and then they get to this cliff where these monsters are just chilling there. I was like, I feel like I need a lot more history of why there's just like a random cliff that nobody can seemingly reach unless you fly there to get to the Scarlet Witch and their temple. So I was like, okay, I feel like there's like the rules aren't clear as far as like the role of the Scarlet Witch.
Got a solid jump scare though in that moment.
Is it like
with the Guardians?
It was. It wasn't. So I'm like, is the Scarlet Witch like? Is it like a title that's passed down from generation, and like it's something that's chosen, or is it like this great destiny that like only one person in history will ever achieve?
It seems more like a force, kind of like the Phoenix. Like it's something that can be like.
Okay.
I think it's one of those I think it is kind of one of those destiny things because, what's her name? Agatha was like pointing out, it's like, oh, you're the Scarlet Witch, like this embodiment of pure, this absorber of like chaos magic and other shit.
So she's the first and only Scarlet Witch. So there's been no other.
I think
Scarlet
so. It seemed like that was because when she was there, she's like, this isn't like a temple, it's a throne, and it was like of her as the Scarlet Witch. It doesn't seem to be any indicators that there was a previous one, so it seems like a fate type thing that she's the Scarlet Witch, not a Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
but no, I get what you're saying. It could have been a little bit more clear as to what Scarlet Witch is.
It could be clear. I like the mental thing more because I'm like, damn, you give her this sick ass place where she can just be as a queen Scarlet Witch and you just gonna destroy it immediately.
I mean,
that's kind of lame. I was like, okay, if it's something that's passed down, or like like there's a Scarlet Witch every 100 years or something, that would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I guess there can't be because like she's supposed to destroy the universe and all that shit. So it makes sense.
It could be passed down, and we just don't know.
But like the universe, the destiny of the Scarlet Witch is to destroy all life or the universe or some shit. Isn't that what they said? I'm like, clearly everything's still here. So either all the other ones failed, or there's only one Scarlet Witch is meant to be. And if that's the case, then they just wasted the concept of what they built up this universe, the Scarlet Witch, is supposed to be. Because just by the lore of what they said, she should be like a Thanos type threat.
She kind of was,
but she didn't like. She's like, I don't want all this power. I just want my children.
Mega Cat.
That's nice, but like,
we knew she wouldn't have stopped with just her kids. We all knew it.
She wanted to go to another universe, but yeah, I'm sure she would have. What did she say? She was gonna kill all the other Wandas, or like?
Seemed to be the implication because I don't think she. Because she kind of shrugged. It's like, well, what are you gonna do if you get to a universe with the kids, but they already have a mom, and she's just kind of like, Bitch, what is Don't shrug. What the fuck does that mean?
Also, I don't know which ones were reshoots or not, but there's definitely points where Wong had like a sort of comb over thing kind of going versus the short hair that he normally has. And I noticed the second time. Yeah, he has like a long kind of like swooshy hair thing.
Might have to go back and look at it again.
If now that I pointed it out, if you watch it again,
I wasn't paying attention to his hair, but I do believe you.
Like those are the reshoots.
Oh, bro, his it's it's the magic of length. That's all it is.
The magic of length.
He had it grow between sequences. He's like, I'll be damned if I'm gonna die skint. I'll hit it. Trying to think.
He's been bald since the
which I'm cool with. I like him with hair.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else happened other than them getting the book and going to Wundagore, and she starts to meditate again in her little throne area, which is like, it's weird to call that a throne because there was nothing to sit on except for that little sacrificial tablet thing. Like, is it really a throne? Where do you sit?
Yeah, that was inaccurate. But yeah, I think we basically caught up on that front. He makes it over to the universe, and now we're back.
Strange America, Regina George are run into the Book of Ashanti. We have some cool horror sequences. One that, again, it's cool, but dumb, is the scene where he closes the door and she's behind it, and then she pops out from the side somehow and you only see her eyes glowing red. Oh God, there was one thing we skipped earlier that was really dope. The first time she dream walked into 838 Wanda, and like her reality just completely distorted, and she was seeing like waves in the tea, and the lamps were bending. Oh, that shit was dope. Then she was like,
Yeah, it was cool. I kind of referenced it earlier, but I didn't go into specifics. But yeah,
I really
like a cool
that
scene. And the picture turns.
I thought
that was cool. That was something that was more Twilight Zone-y to me than horror. Because would have been creepier is like the picture didn't move, but only the eyes moved.
All of that is very like Sam Raimi-esque. What about like it's very Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, like it was horror adjacent.
It's yeah, so his horror is a little bit more dramatic than like traditional spooky, because like traditional spooky is like you said, where only the eyes move. Sam's like, fuck that, you'll get a whole face. The lamps are moving in this bitch. The ceiling fans are like the deer on the wall is laughing at you. That was a thing that happened. Another time it was a goat. So this is actually him showing restraint. It's like, yeah, there were waves, and then she was just like basically had a whole mental breakdown, and then I guess something else that we didn't talk about. I don't want to be mean. Like, before we get back to the whole Book of Ashanti, I don't want to be mean, but did it seem like Billy and Tommy's acting got worse between projects?
I didn't even notice. I didn't like think about it, but I would not.
I didn't hate them.
Are you talking about their little?
Yeah, and like even at the end, I'm like, I remember liking y'all in the show. What happened? It's got to be the same actors. So I missed something.
Maybe Sam Raimi just doesn't do kids.
Somebody, I think it was
you'll figure it out.
Chris at DT said Sam Raimi is not good at directing kids. So maybe that's what maybe it was the directing for the kids. Because I'm like, I remember y'all were fine in WandaVision, but this was not your. But yeah, somebody else should have probably opted into that one. Just like, all right, AD, you handle the kid scenes. I'll handle literally everything else.
Right. Now, they didn't really bother me too much. Well, it was too bad.
Didn't take me out, but it was definitely one of those moments of like, yep, these are kid actors.
Yeah, I feel that. So yeah, we were in the hallway. Wanda did her spooky, scary shit. I feel like she was scary. Like
Yeah.
she was appropriately scary. She wasn't like giving kids nightmares by framing her in only shadows and only her red eyes glowing and all this stuff. Like they
Yeah,
did it
and
for
then
one frame. That was it.
then she kept
But
following
yeah, so
him.
they did the thing they closed the door. Yeah, she kept following them. And they Strange flooded
Yep.
the place.
It was dumb that they
And
waited on her,
then
but it was a cool scene.
they used the watch. It was dumb that they waited on her. They used the watch to open the door. It was even dumber that they left the door open behind them.
Yeah,
To the Book
she
of
did
Ashanti.
kind of come into that bitch. So
I was like,
she's on the way, right?
You know that she can't get in without. You know it's enchanted, and you know that she can't get in without
Right.
that watch. And I know the door is and shit, but Doctor Strange, you can fly. You can close that door easily if you wanted to. Like once you do that, like the thread is gone. Then you can work there in the book to get wherever you need to because it's the Book of Ashanti. It's the literal MacGuffin that has everything you need in it. Close the door and get out of the multiverse and back
I get
to
what
your
the
space.
purpose was for the end of it, so it could set up him actually using the Darkhold for good because he's strange, but he's built different.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad they didn't completely destroy it either when they got in there. But yeah, they could have closed the door and it would have been.
They destroyed the Book of Ashanti.
They just fried a couple pages.
But they didn't try to take it with them or nothing. Strange didn't use one of his magic whips to grab it
at the same place that it was, but like on the ground.
So is that the same Book of Ashanti, or is there only one Book of Ashanti that exists outside of the multiverse? Like, is that the same one from the opening? Oh, okay, so yes, this one book just exists outside of
it's in this little
space.
Pocket area. But like, I think what would have been dope is if they closed the door and then she ripped that bitch off its hinges to show how powerful she was, and it's like, oh fuck, we literally can't get away from her ass. It's like,
I would have liked that because one, it would have shown how powerful it was, and two, it would have not done that dumb thing that movies do sometimes, where they ignore logic for the sake of having.
It's another easily fixable scene because if you saw just a door fly off, like hear thumps of her trying to get in, and then that bitch flies off his hinges, and you just see her floating down, and preparing to like fry the shit, or whatever. Then it's like cool. Like I
yeah. Also, so yeah, then she makes it in there, and then they get blasted to the Incursion universe, the one that lost or whatever. And then I felt that one scene where Wanda gave her body back to the 838 Wanda, I was like, this is some mad reshoot energy for continuity. So we know that she can escape.
Of all things, to show that she left.
I was like, because
I forget that the regular Wanda had magic powers too. She flew away.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, you don't even know that. You don't even know that until that scene.
You think it's Wanda controlling her because when she first flies away, when she first gets possessed, it's like, oh, okay, she's taking over her body and using her powers. But then you realize, hey, this bitch has magic too. Oh, okay.
I was like, was this Wanda an Avenger?
Yeah, it's like, so was this Wanda on the Illuminati team? Which she might have been. Maybe she was retired.
I don't think.
Maybe things just worked out for her in this universe.
Possibly. Could be, yeah. Very well could be. After Thanos, she just kind of retired.
Maybe yeah.
She kill Vision, or
who knows? But yeah, retired with her kids. But evidently, she does have some level of powers, but it's more so like Wanda, not the Scarlet Witch. But what do we get after that? Oh yeah,
now. So Strange and Christine the Incursion, and then America is back with Wanda.
And she does something that I think is really cool, where she basically forces America to throw them into some random, or what we believe to be random, incursion dimension, and then backtracks to correct her to go to the right universe, and then throws her to the portal to herself, which I thought was cool. You see like the stars like do. Then they come back to shoot to her universe, and she's just like moving her brain around. It's like like she's triangulating a compass, like, and there we go.
Tuning the TV. Yeah, or like trying to find the right channel for like an old TV kind of thing.
Yeah, just
like the radio.
She's tuning a radio. It's like, there's my universe, and then throws her in the floor in front of her.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool.
So,
I dug that scene.
Regina George and Strange Prime are walking around to go and see if they can get help from the other Strange, where we meet not Strange Supreme, who I thought it was, but it turns out it is a completely different evil Doctor Strange, because these motherfuckers can't catch a break. A Sinister Strange.
So
Right.
damn sinister.
So he never says that line from the trailer. So that was bullshit.
Things gotten out of hand. Yeah, but Reed says it earlier, which I thought was would be a callback to that one. So they just gave Strange's trailer line
what a
to
nice
Reed.
little misfire. What a nice little mislead.
Mislead from Reed.
How'd you feel about Sinister Strange? I liked him.
I thought he was fine. I mean, he had that scene with a Strange, with our Strange, as they were kind of talking, and he shared the anecdote about Donna. I'm like, damn, I wish that would have been something we'd have seen or addressed earlier in the movie prior to this scene. But okay, yeah, we can.
I do
we can
like
that
this
right now.
Brought up, Donna as a way of like connecting the two and realizing it's like, oh, you're me, and it's interesting too how Sinister Strange actually starts off like timid and kind of like scared. Then you realize he actually almost may have the upper hand because he's been exposed to the Darkhold longer and how much it's like corrupt somebody. And how he
and then
just
what were you gonna say?
How he kind of like turns throughout the scene from somewhere just like, oh, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just a victim. Oh, wait a minute, this is his fault.
Yeah, and then they what did he say? He's like, you can have the Darkhold if you give me your Christine. I was like, but in what reality do you think that's like?
You have to fight.
Makes logical sense. Like, yeah, she's gonna.
You have to fight a black man for her first,
and then
that'd be the funniest shit. It's just like Sinister Strange with the power of the Darkhold, just a black man that rolls up his sleeves.
He just got no powers. He just whoops his ass.
He's like,
just invulnerable.
Me knew this day would come. His accent comes back and everything. Wait, wait. What if it was Brother Voodoo? It'd be funny as shit.
Brother Voodoo. Be good. He just assembles all the other black men in the MCU.
If you come.
Somehow, like Heath is there too. He gets Fastos. He gets T'Challa.
Black Vengers. What are they called? The Crew?
He gets what's his name?
Oh God.
The Crew.
God,
I love it.
About the Crew.
Yeah.
Oh man. What a mistake. Yeah, so
then we have the most divisive scene in the movie.
This fight was the most divisive?
I don't like this part.
The Danny Elfman
No, it's not the most
musical fight scene,
I just
which
don't like
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I think isolated outside of this movie, it's cool, but within the context of the movie,
maybe it's just because of
corny.
Maybe just because of how
like,
long it goes on.
Yeah, I think it was that, and I was just like, really, we're fighting with music right now.
What they should have done, and what I thought, what they
Using
should have
notes.
done, I think, and what I thought they were gonna do, is at the end when like Strange plucks that harp in the last music. Again, I think conceptually it's a cool fight. I like the visuals. I like how they executed it and everything. How it's literally a music fight using Danny Elfman's score to go along with it and all these classical tunes. But what I thought he was gonna do is he was gonna use that last note and like slit his throat. Like we could see that the notes had like sharpness to them, or like his wrists or something, or to like cut the book from his belt. But he used it to overwhelm him and do like a Kamehameha blast of music. And I think how he got the book was never 2 when he blew it. But yeah, what would have been crazy is if he like used it to slit his throat and then it got unstable, it exploded, then he blew out the window and landed on the spikes. Maybe that would have been a little too much. But yeah, like the way he died was dope.
I thought it was really cool.
Like, damn,
I was like, ooh,
I
shit.
thought it was gonna miss, but it just I'm like, ooh. And Christine was like, and then the third eye popped out. Oh yeah, we got our first scene with the third eye. Stay woke.
Our first scene. Our first scene with the third eye was he exposed it inside of the sanctum first, and then like it reopened with Christine. I was like, what is the meaning of this third eye? Like, does this just happen to sorcerers when they
it's just
have the Darkhold
or thing? Things just got out of hand. And it's like, yeah, bet they fucking did, Triclops. But
and then Christine goes into the sanctum.
Yeah, because if the other you dies,
uses
like,
the
all right, clearly
Darkhold.
some shit's going on up there. I better investigate. Which I think that's actually a fair assessment. Let me go
Right.
check on the one I came in with. But he gets the Darkhold. She comes up and basically has to have the whole, why do you always have to hold the knife? And I think they leaned into him learning about his ego. Like, this is basically where his arc comes to a head. And so he's like, okay, well, I need you here to protect me while I go under to dreamwalk, and gets probably another moment that I love in the movie of him dream walking into his own corpse, where she goes, it's like, well, how are you going to dream walk if if you don't have a body, or if there's no body that's alive? He's like, who said it has to be alive? And I don't know, something about the way that he delivered that and how it immediately cuts into the zombie just had me weak. I'm like, this is great. I fucking love this.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I'll admit it, as begrudging as I was about the fact that he had the body there in the first place. The fact that he used
I love the way he says it to her, because she seems legitimately concerned. It's like, how are you gonna dream walk when there's nothing alive to dream walk into? He's just like, he's like, oh, you goofy bitch, who said it had to be alive? And nobody say that shit.
You silly black fucking Christine.
You silly bitch. Like, who said it had to be alive?
You
I have
silly
all the
man. Like, that was a little racy, Steven. I don't think you can. I think you're projecting.
Steven, no, we can't say the N word in this world. Fiddlesticks. Reduced to crackers. Once again.
Well, no, I thought they
This
can.
is a different
Bruce
one,
Campbell
though.
can
This
say
wasn't
it.
that last unit. This isn't 838 anymore. The incursion verse.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. The incursion verse. You're right.
Yeah, we get zombie Steven, who sling rings himself over to the cliffs of Wundagore. God, that's a sentence of words that I never thought I'd have to say in my fucking life. Then he's like, I need you to watch out for me, because they're gonna come for me for like breaking the laws of I guess reality. So a bunch of like evil demon spirits come to claim him, and thanks to the power of Christine's bad bitch energy, I guess, she hits them off with like a fire vase, an explosive fire vase.
Which was something, a little fun fact I found out from New Rockstar's video. So that little vase thing was actually in the first Doctor Strange movie. Like when he's fighting Caecilius, and he's like, you don't know what this thing is, do you? And then he like throws it or something. But then, yeah, so it's in that first fight with Caecilius. And then, yeah, she figures it out. And I'm like, oh, really so cool, that's what that does.
Then.
Yeah.
She does, he trusts somebody else to keep him safe, and they proceed to keep him safe. And then, no other way to say it, he makes a cape of dark spirits and flies his zombie corpse to take on the Scarlet Witch. And it is one of the most
He makes
It's one of the most insane metal things I've ever seen. Oh, and Wong is alive. And makes his way back up the cliff. As
something I failed to mention earlier. So the second time I saw it, I took my 11-year-old sister, and the second time I saw it, I saw this movie in 3D. No, she loved it. She thought it was great. She jumped at the jump scares, but yeah, she didn't get too scared. I think it's little kids you gotta worry about, like middle school. But yeah, I saw it in 3D, and this part in 3D was super dope. Like the demons like flying at you and like trying to get away from Strange. I was like, this all looks really good. Sam Raimi really put his
and if
foot
you
in
look
this
at
one.
like the practical effects on Strange's face, it's ripped right out of Evil Dead, and it's so fucking like the sunken in eyes, the like chapped and missing parts of his face and teeth. Now it's all like rotted, and he hasn't been gone that long, and this started decomposing fast as fuck.
He hasn't. Right. And I was like, didn't he have like a whole beard before? Like I guess beards just decay really fast. Or...
something was in that dirt that was whooping his ass.
So how the fuck did Wong hanging off a cliff, like holding on for dear life, know that was Stephen Strange coming in his dream-walked body to save the day? How the fuck would he have possibly known that? He was like, Strange!
Because he was like, I don't even want to know, which is the appropriate response. Because if I see that shit coming my way, I was like,
that is fair.
No, don't explain it to me. Don't even try to explain it to me. No. I don't want to know.
Don't attempt it.
That shit was dope.
But the scene was cool.
He basically tells America, "Hey girl, believe in yourself," and she's like, "Damn, I didn't think of that." Which some people have taken umbrage with it, which I'm like, she's a 15-year-old girl. Teenagers are not great with self-confidence, let me tell you, as someone that works with them. They're not that good at it, especially someone that has like zero support system. Shit. She's been traveling the multiverse by herself. Yeah, her self-confidence is probably in the fucking ground. So
I think it's also the fact that, you know, it's this guy who at the beginning of the movie who he thought she can trust attempts to kill her, but that same guy, when the opportunity comes and she's ready to die, chooses not to kill her and helps her believe in herself. I think that aspect of the story was
especially when Wong right before that says, "You have to take her power," and he's like, "I know what I have to do," and he immediately just lets her go and says, "Look, shawty, either you die or you die. So you got to figure out what you want to do about this." Like, there's not a lot of options left here. So you do what you got to do, and I just gotta. He's like, "Look, if I can trust an alternate version of my wife that was supposed to be my wife but isn't my wife no more, I can trust a little Latina girl that can punch through dimensions. I trust that you won't leave us." She didn't, and she socked that bitch in the face 2 times and kicked her in the chest, which is one of my favorite scenes. I'm just like, yeah, you know, we never got to see Wanda just get her shit rocked for a moment, and she deserved it.
Kicked in your chest.
Because that's the thing that I kind of appreciate. She just popped her in the face one time, popped her in the face again, kicked her in the throat, and she almost kicked her into that fucking Mustafar from Star Wars.
Right. Freaking what's it called?
Right.
She had the high ground
until she started
the high ground. Yeah, if you look real tiny in the corner, you can see Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting for their friendship. Or fighting for the
Photoshop that
the soul.
But then she starts choking her. I'm like, damn, if only she had beat her with the power of those hands. But then she goes, you know, she's like, "You got to give me what I want." She's like, "Okay, I'll give you what you want." And then manifests her own children's nightmares in a scene that I don't think it was.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, break it down for us.
So he punches her, and then America's like, and Wanda's like,
Basically, you're not wrong.
Literally, that's what happens. She says, in the movie.
Oh, she did. She did. I do.
You don't
She
remember
did.
that?
Neck roll intensifies.
Hey, I was like, what the fuck is this?
That was what
funny.
it is.
It made me laugh.
Is
what it is.
Yeah, the thing we didn't talk about is
yeah.
like Wanda's burnt ass fingertips every time she would use her power. And that's a carryover from WandaVision. So that's been there for because it happened to Agatha too. All that fire shit make you be frying your hands. But yeah, so she her back to 838 and her kids, it takes them a second to realize what the fuck is going on. Just, Mommy! Ah! And then she throws the other Wanda across the room. It's like, no, it's me, your mom. And they start throwing toys and shit at her. It's like, get away from us. The witch is here. I'm like, must have heard about you.
So I guess this Billy and Tommy doesn't have powers. So my takeaway was.
Huh, yeah. Yeah, because in WandaVision, yeah, because it's Wiccan and Speed. One of them is one's fast and one's weird. So yeah, that's a really good observation. Exactly. They don't have powers like Wanda does, but or at least theirs haven't shown up yet. By the time that this happens in their universe. So that says a lot actually, because remember in WandaVision they hopped into the fight, as a family, but in this one not so much. Right. That's interesting.
They're behind the stairs.
That was one of the other things. Is one of the other critiques. It's like, oh, but she looks just like their mom. I'm like, yeah, coming out of a portal with red eyes and burnt black fingertips, I'd be scared shitless too. After she just threw my mama across the room. Like, no, but she looks like your mom. Okay, and the fuck? Terrifying. Like I'm not already scared of my mom. Now you have my mom demon time, fucking goblin mode. Like, wow. Congratulations. Now I'm extra scared. She looks like she's about to beat me with the force of Satan. Like, what the fuck? I don't want whatever those problems are. I don't want any part of that. Right.
What nothing to do with this.
Definitely.
So then she realizes that
and then drops a fucking cliff on herself.
Yeah, what did it remind me of? Like, oh, fucking Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. That's right. Tripping the whole movie, and she's like, she's there of her ways, and like, I will not be a monster, and like, and everyone escapes, and she crushes herself.
Yeah, so
presumably she's dead.
Strange and company get back to safety, and I guess presumably they send fine ass Christine back to her fine ass dimension, where the Illuminati is no more. Jesus. That's actually a pretty bleak ending, I just realized, for that universe. Like, they're the mightiest heroes of that planet are all gone, as far as we know. And Wanda's kids are eternally traumatized by an evil version of their mother who just popped out of a star-shaped portal and threw her across the room. And God knows how many bones. They're going to be in therapy for a minute. But
yeah. Ooh, okay. In that scene where Wanda's like, they'll be safe now.
They're safer
like,
with me.
First,
look here, you raggedy fuck.
So Scarlet Witch is on her knees, and the other Wanda is standing in front of her. And what does she say? She's like, know that they'll be safe. And then for like half a second, I thought she was about to snap Scarlet Witch's neck. I thought that was about to I have empathy for you, but you can go on no longer.
That would have been loony. Oh, that would have been nuts.
I swear, because it was too calm and too peaceful. I'm like, she's about to She's about to merge. She's about to old yeller this woman.
Turn
She's about to
around, kid.
mercy snap
Turn
her neck.
around, motherfuckers. Shit.
It's okay. I understand. You've done bad, but what you've done to my children,
Crack.
it's
Then
unforgivable.
her eyes start glowing
Snap.
red. It's like, close the portal, close the portal, close the portal. Fuck. She doesn't know how to dream walk. But no, it's Scarlet Witch. Wanda consoles her. I guess there's nobody that got you like you got you, I suppose. Wanda realizes the error of her ways and goes back to being Wanda for a moment. The heroes get away. She destroys all the Darkholds across the multiverse, as far as we know. Drops the Cave of Wundagore on herself, allegedly killing herself, but we didn't see a body. She'll be back someday. Does evil ever truly die? Does the rage of a white woman ever fully go away? No, I don't think so. But yeah, so we basically have a somewhat pleasant ending, I guess, after all the murder and carnage and multiversal terror that we've experienced with America now training at the slowly rebuilt Kamartaj, and Strange learning to now be humble, bows to Wong, just who low-key kind of got his ass kicked for a good amount of the movie, but he was trying his best. Not as bad as Black Star got his ass handed to him in Falcon Soldier. So
I don't think our Strange has ever won a fight.
I guess until this movie where he beat himself.
But he didn't. Yeah, he beat himself. That's the only person he can beat because he didn't beat. He tricked Dormammu. He didn't beat.
He didn't beat Caecilius, really.
No, he didn't beat Caecilius.
He didn't beat Thanos.
He definitely didn't beat Thanos.
He didn't beat Spider-Man.
He didn't beat Spider-Man.
Damn. He's been getting cooked. No wonder he
didn't. He
really believes his own hype a lot for somebody that hasn't won a fight. The one time he wins, it's against himself. And he even struggled with that.
Right. That's the only person.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah, barely.
You beat yourself, barely.
Shit. Yeah. Sad. He really hasn't won a fight against anyone other than himself.
Why didn't Sinister Strange use the Darkhold against him? It's not like he has anything to lose. For someone who's guarded the book for as long as he has, who's been infected by it.
He was definitely infected by it
in a fight.
But
you think he would?
I mean, if he knows all the spells,
so like,
clearly he didn't study it enough. He lost. He was just guarding it, I guess.
He didn't even try. He's too busy trying to make pretty music with himself.
You know what? It's Strange's hubris again, where he thinks he can handle it himself, forgetting that he doesn't win fights, including against himself. Oh, the Strange that's not afraid to take help from other people is the reason. That's why he won. His friends are his power. Oh. Actually, yeah, that's the running theme is that every time. Oh, but that's what it is. That's why he never wins fights, because he doesn't know how to trust other people. Those were all those fights that he lost was because he thought he would win. He lost every one of them. The one time he's like, "Wait, I'm allowing other people to help me get the job done," and then he like knows what he has to do. He finally wins a fucking fight.
The only other time that he learns to let someone else take the play is when he get that one Michael J. Fox finger and let Tony Stark.
When he lets somebody help him, he wins. So that's why he always loses. That's the lesson. You know how you keep getting your ass whooped because you're not as hot shit as you think you are. You need people to help you.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So America's at the temple, uh, slinging rings and slinging things, and Strange bows to Wong. He fixes his watch. He learns how to actually be happy and accept joy in his life, and then he has a breakdown in the middle of the street and reveals that he has a third eye, which I think was actually a pretty good ending sequence. Um, until we get
Yeah.
the mid-credit scene where Clea, played by Charlize Theron, which I didn't recognize who it was at first, so I thought it was Sigourney Weaver. I'm like, no, that's not Sigourney Weaver. Who the fuck is that? Then I thought it was somebody else, and I didn't know it was Charlize Theron until like people said it. I'm like, I'm still in disbelief. Here's the weird thing. I recognized that it was Clea, but I could not recognize who the actress was, which is confusing because I don't know jack shit about Clea, but for some reason I immediately recognized her from the comics. Even
So
though she
you
looked like
immediately knew it was Clea. I was the reverse. I immediately knew that it was Charlize Theron, but I did not know who the fuck that was. My friend
Yeah,
thought
it
it was
was-
Psylocke at first. I was like, no, it ain't Psylocke because she ain't got blonde hair like that.
Yeah, because when I saw the outfit, I'm like, is that an Eternal? I'm like, wait, that's Clea? Is that Clea? I don't know how I knew that. Like,
You know
I
what it
guess
was? You guys what? Because then I didn't know who it was at first. No, I didn't know who Clea was, and I looked it up. I was like, oh, it's the wife of Doctor Strange. Okay. And I was like, I mean, nothing. I know you. Nothing to Charlize Theron, but I was like, okay, they're love interest. But I was like, isn't she like a lot older than him? Which is nothing wrong with cougars or anything. But I'm like, traditionally, like they're closer in age, I guess, or like the girl's younger or whatever. And I was like, how old is Rachel McAdams? And Rachel McAdams is 43. And I was like,
she
oh,
looks good.
she
Damn,
looks
bro.
great, right?
Actually, I
Right.
think she was 30 in Mean Girls.
Really? Shit.
Sure.
Wow. And then so Benedict Cumberbatch is 45, and Charlize, what the fuck is this woman's name?
Charlize Theron.
Thank you. Is 46. So like they're about the same age.
The Mean Girls was 2004.
Yeah. So almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeesh, 18 years ago. Damn.
Yeah. You said Rachel McAdams is how old? 44?
She's 43 and Charlize Theron is 46.
Okay, so she was like 26. God damn, still. And a high schooler.
So I was like,
Time has been kind to her.
time has been kind to her, but I was like, when you look at those two girls, they're roughly the same age, but I feel like Charlize Theron looks a lot more mature than Rachel McAdams does.
Yeah,
I mean,
Rachel McAdams is a damn franchise queen, so. But yeah, so there was that one, and then
it is the Bruce Campbell.
the other one with Bruce. So
Did you like the Clea scene?
hey,
Yeah, did you like the post credit scene?
it's kind of. I mean, when he popped his third eye open, I'm just like, okay, well, there goes that mystery.
Yeah, it took kind of sucked the air. It kind of took the tension out of it.
Yeah, it took the tension out of a pretty good abrupt ending. I kind of wish that they hadn't done it right then, but like save that for Doctor Strange 3. I didn't mind Clea showing up. I think him opening the third eye so casually is what kind of undersold the previous one. Honestly, they
Or you know what they could have done?
could have swapped them.
What do you mean swap them?
They swapped the Bruce Campbell scene and the Clea scene. So if you stay at the end and you get the Clea scene, I don't know. I feel like it would have worked slightly better. But then you're like, wait, he just said it was over. What the fuck is this?
Or rather than pretending like it's another day and he's like time jump and he's lived with it, have that post credit scene take place immediately after that scene. And then as he's screaming in the street, Clea's like, Doctor Strange, come with me. You've caused an incursion.
Okay, yeah. And he still has the eye open. He's like, what the fuck? This eye. So
yeah, he's still freaking out and in pain.
Yeah.
So it's confused that he's like, what the fuck's happening to him? And then who the fuck is this? And then, all right, he has to go, even though he's all fucked up. I think that would have been
Yeah. So basically, it's extending the two scenes into one another.
exactly kind of like Far From Home. How the ending of that movie was them swinging, but the beginning was the J. Jonah Jameson scene. Could have been kind of like that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Around. Really enjoyed it.
It was okay.
Really fun. Yeah,
It's fun. There's a lot of
I'll
good
be
stuff
excited to.
talk about
I'm
it.
excited to pick up the of the multiverse projects that have come out within Marvel. I mean, because you know everything everywhere is movie of the year for me right now.
Yep, same here.
Of the what do they have now? 3. Just No Way Home and Loki.
Oh, yeah.
This
guess 2 or 3
is
rankings.
yeah. So this is my oh, I guess if you count What If, technically 4. This is my if I had to rank them, I'd say No Way Home, this, What If, then Loki.
Ooh, okay.
Best parts of Loki to me were the last 2 episodes. So basically, the parts that don't involve Hiddleston do involve He Who Remains. I love him. He's great.
He's very much a part of Loki. I mean,
him and Alligator Loki in classic Loki.
Loki's in the
all
last.
great.
He's in the second to last episode. I would say for me, it would go. This is a tough one. For me, number 1 is No Way Home. Number 2 is Loki. And I'm wrestling between What If and that's a tough question. What If had some good episodes? Jeez. Fuck it, I guess I'll go number 3, this, and then number 4, What If. Just because it's one story, exciting. Cameo, yeah, the cameos take it. Yep. So that's my order.
He's a hater.
I enjoyed Loki. Get that.
He's haterating and hollerating in the dancery.
Yeah. So I would say I would give this movie floating between a 6.5 and a 7 out of 10 for me.
I give it an 8 to 8.5. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience, especially as a Sam Raimi fan. I had a
think
great
this is
with this.
This might be one of the first times. Well, maybe I think we might have had. I don't think we talked about Eternals. I genuinely can't remember if we talked about Eternals on the show.
I legitimately can't remember if we talked about it either. but like I'll give you. I mean, your credit. Most of the criticisms you have, I'd say, are like pretty valid. I mean, there are a couple things that I think we have minor disagreements on, but that's more so with like our preference related to structure focus for films is more so like a filmmaking aspect. So and where we're like the appreciation goes. So it's not that I don't care about characters. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I can accept a couple gaps if the narrative is like pulling me in enough. And I think you're the opposite, where you want the narrative to more so service the characters. And I don't think either one of those is wrong. It just means we end up coming out of it with different views. But I think we do agree on most of the cool shit was pretty cool. But the stuff that had holes, there are things that it could have maybe used like one more Passover. And I think they would have.
I think the only thing we had a major disagreement about was the concept of Strange having his own corpse in the multiverse, having his own corpse in the MCU.
Yes, I think the only thing we actually maybe disagree on is just like how to handle the corpse. It wasn't the corpse being there; it was what to do after the fact.
I think mine was the corpse being there in general.
Well,
what do you do with the corpse?
That's what I'm saying. What do you do with the corpse once it's got here?
Right.
Leave it. You get rid of it.
Yes, I will dispose of that corpse. I will use magic to evaporate, to eviscerate that corpse, or do something with it to make sure that it doesn't fucking come back to haunt me.
But think about it, bro. You burn the corpse, then you need it later. Now you just got a bunch of bones flying across the sky. That might have been worse than what they had in the movie. Can you imagine if it was just a skeleton with like a cloak of dark spirits? Would that not be the most like spine chilling, blood shittingly experience ever?
And cool. That would be so
Just
dope.
skeleton with a cape with a cloak of corpse, sounding like Benedict Cumberbatch, like, "Don't worry, I've got you." What the fuck is that? Oh my god, death is here. Jesus Christ, Wanda, what did you do? You invoked the wrath. You invoked the wrath of doom itself. Like, so before we skedaddle out of here, do we want to give, like, because I think we're at least in unison about this, so we can be a lot more brief about how we feel about everything, everywhere, all at once. Is presently my favorite movie of the year. It is great. It deals with, oh fuck, lost him. There he goes. Is he back?
You sound like a really fast chipmunk for a second. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening.
That's weird. I was just saying, it's like us giving. I'm sure we could absolutely gush about everything everywhere. I don't want to.
That's a whole other 4 hours.
Right. So
we're both long-winded. We could keep it going, bro, if we wanted to. But I feel like this whole time was about Strange, and I feel like that's serviceable and it's relevant right now.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty much aligned on everything everywhere. I think there's just, it's great.
It's a phenomenal movie. We can talk about it another time, but yeah, it was just a superb film.
Probably made it to one of my favorite films ever, which is impressive with how fast that was.
Yeah, for you guys listening out there, I told Will that he needed to go see the movie. I think maybe like a week or 2 weeks after. No, like I saw it, and then the second time I saw it, I told him we needed to see it, and then we didn't text or talk. No, we texted like a few times in between that, and we were also in a group chat together. And then out of nowhere, no context, he's I can't remember what you said. Like, nigga, that shit was wild or something like that.
Yeah, I think I just sent some vague tweet, and you knew exactly what it was about. No, it's a phenomenal. Because of that movie, my pick to direct Fantastic Four is the Daniels. I want them to do it. They have a clear grasp not only of like high sci-fi weird bullshit, but they also have a great sense of humor and a great way to handle family dynamics, which are all the things I would really want to have a Fantastic Four movie. Just weird sci-fi bullshit and a good family dynamic. And that movie was fucking knocked out of the park. So if Kevin Feige can get him to do it, I would, my first pick, obviously Brad Bird, but the Daniels, if they can sprinkle even if they get a fraction of the free reign that Raimi got on this, god damn.
I don't think he would. I don't know if it would happen. That would be a dream come true. I would love that to happen.
It's up there with Ari Aster's Doctor Strange 2, which I think if they don't get Sam again, then they probably won't tap Ari. Get Mike Flanagan to do it. I really like his horror movies. He's very good. Did Oculus.
The guy isn't Mike Flanagan the guy who does Doctor Strange, Shazam? No, that's
somebody else.
That's David Sandberg, I think.
Yeah, that's David Sandberg. Mike Flanagan did he did Oculus, on Haunted Hill. He did Dr. Sleep.
Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah. Mike Flanagan. Get Mike Flanagan for Doctor Strange 3.
He's one of my favorite horror directors out there now. He also did something else I'm trying to think. Oculus, Dr. Sleep, Haunted Hill. Another project that he did that I really enjoyed. But I like I've liked of his work. He's good. He's really good. Really good like tension builder. But I think if Dr. Sleep is any indication, the man knows how to handle an adaptation incredibly well. Holy shit, that was like a near impossible balancing act, and somehow he pulled it off. So he's who I'd if they can't get Raimi, they skip right past Aster. Either Mike Flanagan, or if they want to go really out the box, get Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
If it's
I can
Jordan
see it.
Peele, then for sure we are getting Brother Voodoo.
I think we're all under the assumption that Doctor Strange 3 is going to be another horror type movie, and I don't think that it will be.
What
I don't.
genre do you think it's gonna be another multiverse thing with Clea?
I mean, whatever it is, I hope that it's more Doctor Strange focused, and it's about him and his world and his characters instead of trying to. I think I want it to build the universe from a Doctor Strange specific lens, and then have the events of this Doctor Strange specific story then tie into whatever else is happening. Kind of like how it used to be.
I think now that they're done with this arc for him, I think that now frees them up to do more uh story oriented stuff that's a little bit focused towards his stories versus his stories versus his arcs. You know? It's like Multiverse of Madness pulled from a lot of things. Oddly enough, Civil War 2 was one of the things that it pulled from, with like how America beats the Scarlet Witch is almost pulled directly from a moment that America has in Civil War 2 with Carol, but the opposite happens where the Scarlet Witch actually breaks down and gives up. Carol actually leans in and becomes more stubborn. It was from the Ultimates tie-in, because she can access other dimensions. It's like, hey Carol, if you keep doing this stupid shit, this is what the world's gonna be like. And she's like, ah, ah, ah.
What?
I'm gonna keep doing stupid shit.
He's like,
People don't know
nah,
how.
I can do better.
Because I'm stubborn and bullheaded, and my name is Carol. Like, okay, this is why people don't like you. We're on the same team, dumbass. Like, stop being stupid. We fight
Be
gods.
stupid.
Like,
We fight gods. Don't be dumb. Please and thank you, Karen Danvers.
Karen Danvers, Scarlet bitch.
Scarlet Bitch and Karen Danvers.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's I don't know if there's anything else to say about this before we ski daddle. I mean,
Nothing about this show. We'll get to Moon Knight one day.
we'll get to
Maybe
Moon Knight
next
one
time.
day. Yeah, because I have some thoughts about Moon Knight. Short version, really like it. It's probably a new favorite of the Disney Plus shows. I haven't even given my thoughts about the Miss Marvel trailer. I actually have issues with that, but it's for another day.
Well,
But,
yeah, like you're not about the power change and whatnot.
oh yeah.
Did you know we haven't done a show since February?
I realized the other day we've been busy. a lot has gone on, and we have not had the time to like stop. I think really slow down for a second. It's like, wait, let's do something where we can all like meet up or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
I guess my short version is that I also really liked Moon Knight, and I would say it is my. It's floating. It floats between second and third for me for my series. Maybe second, just because I was a little disappointed with WandaVision's ending, and though I felt that Moon Knight's ending was kind of rushed, I felt like it was consistent character wise with the rest of the show.
that's
And
why
it tied nothing into anything MCU, which I really appreciated.
yeah, that's the reason Moon Knight just beat out WandaVision, is because, like, the exact reason that you said. Although the ending is rushed, I think it's a little bit more cohesive. WandaVision, and I like WandaVision's ending, but it has issues. So the
Right.
Moon Knight's ending could have benefited from another 20 minutes. This movie could have benefited from another 20 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
they're getting closer. They're getting closer. Every project
Better.
they're learning something. They're getting better at it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to do it for us. I mean, anything that you want to advertise, Aaron?
Anything they want to advertise? No, nothing today.
Okay.
Go support your local Walmart, your local farmers market. Put a quarter in a well for me. Make a wish for yourself. Do that for you. That's all I want.
If people are looking for me, you can find me on all my social media at Will the Greatest. Sometimes it has spaces, but most of the time it doesn't, except for YouTube. I got some very late reviews that I need to finish editing and post. So this will probably go up before those. It is what it is. I've made peace with it. But yeah. So we'll see y'all next time. But I don't know, man. I'm thinking we're back. Yeah. Yeah,
Baby.
I think we're back.
We're back.
A dinosaur. God, what an old film. But yeah, so that'll do it. Don't forget to like the show, rate the show, share the show, tell your friends. Yeah, give us 5 stars. Spotify, 5 stars, Apple Music, all the show, all that jazz. Catch y'all on the flip side.
Deuces.